TIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowes.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Unlock the savings at Boost Mobile and save up to $600 a year. I've been scouting these big carriers for a minute now, and I've seen them pull the same play 1,000 times. They promise you the world, then hit you with a price hike right when the game gets tight. But Boost Mobile, their $25 a month unlimited wireless plan is the most consistent player on the floor. No contracts and no price hikes. Unlock the savings today at boostmobile.com/unlock. Based on average annual single line payment of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile customers compared to 12 months of the Boost Mobile unlimited wireless plan as of January 2026. For full offer details, visit boostmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill. But those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap GoodRx, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
WPEN, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now it's time to wake up. Kincade and Salciunas is on the air. Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Yes, we are here on this Tuesday morning. Happy 6-9 day, ladies and gentlemen. You weren't ready for that one. It is June 9, 2026, and the Phillies win again. The best team that has ever played baseball. Beat the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday 5-2. Even though Connor Thomas and I both agree Christopher Sanchez stinks now. He allowed 2 earned runs yesterday.
Is Christopher Sanchez a problem?
He's clearly losing it. I think the Phillies should strongly consider adding a left-handed pitcher like Tarek Skubal at the deadline because Sanchez stinks.
No, thank you. Get me a bet.
The dude's unbelievable. Sanchez, another
good.
dominant performance yesterday. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 10 Ks. Waves off Don Mattingly, says, no, Don, give me one more.
The 6th inning was artistic.
Yeah.
The third runner on third, nobody out, strike out the side.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
He was artistic in that inning. That was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, you get the win. Brad Keller, dicey again, but he gets the hold in the 8th, and then Johan Duran ends it with another save. He gives up a hit yesterday. That's another guy we have to be concerned about. Is Johan Duran losing it a little bit because he gave up a hit. People have not touched the baseball this year when he throws it, but you finally
gave up a hit though, so we do need to talk about.
We got to start worrying about that.
Can we talk about Bryce? Is Bryce gonna give us that full effort? Is Bryce watching A.J. Brown highlights?
I saw you getting showed up on social media.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I saw our own Colin Newby.
You got called out.
Well, no, I didn't. Colin didn't tag me. I was surprised. Our own Colin Newby being like, is sports radio going – I'll do it in Colin's voice. Is sports radio going to give him nicknames now? Yeah. Well, if it's that, I'm glad to see that he was talked to in the dugout, though, which is nice. But what's that about? Are we doing this again? We doing like the half-ass stuff? Like not going to run.
You can't
stuff
expect them to run it out every single time.
We can't.
That's what I always hear from people.
We can't.
You can't expect
that. Like if it's can we expect them to show up for picture day? That's another thing fans are complaining about. I just wonder if it can be expected to run out balls, to give full effort. Look, if A.J. Brown's going to take nothing but crap in this town, and he has, and there were multiple reasons for it, it's worth pointing out when other players just tend to, sort of mail it in sometimes. A little mailing it in with the effort. We don't need it.
I could also say that Bryce Harper is one of the least of the problems of the Philadelphia Phillies right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see, though, the team leaders show full effort. It's great. It's not hard to do, Andrew. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to play. You're being paid how much? $25 million a year? $27 million a year?
He's getting paid handsomely.
To go play baseball and to just run out ground balls and to do things properly. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Just saying, not a hard thing to do. Let's
3 minutes. Anything else?
Anything else? No, I'm just saying is that these let's have it. Let's have it. Don't. I'm more happy though right now that this team is just continuing to show life.
Yeah, they win yet again, and I can't wait for a conversation at 6:30. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make you wait until 6:30 off of what you just said, that this team is showing life. Apparently, this team is showing more than just life for some people. And that is a tease that you're going to have to wait 26 minutes.
More than just life.
Yeah. But we got to start with the press conference that took place yesterday because the Philadelphia 76ers have a new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey.
The Pobo, I will forever, just so you know, Connor, wherever I am, whatever job I'm doing, I will always think of Connor Thomas when the Pobo comes up.
Makes it easy to say. You're getting mentioned in Canadian radio when John goes up to Canada.
If I go to Canada
for his next
and give up 54% of my paycheck in taxes, man. That ain't happening.
Connor Thomas, you're going national, brother.
California and New York aren't seeing me either.
So the Pobo, the new Pobo of the Sixers, Mike Gansey, had his introductory press conference yesterday. After 15 years as a part of the Cleveland Cavaliers, eventually the GM of the Cavs. I mean, he was with LeBron. He saw winning, so that
he was with LeBron.
Intrigues people. Well, let's face it, LeBron's the GM of any team he's with.
He was with LeBron.
Respect, I know Mike Gansey just joined here. With all due respect to you, Mike Gansey, LeBron James was the GM of whatever team he played for.
He was with LeBron. Yes. LeBron, he actually had more power than Mike Gansey had with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm trying to get at. Like
they checked
the post-LeBron era was what you say, all right, this is what Mike Gansey and the Cleveland Cavaliers did.
They checked Mike Gansey's ID at the door every day.
Yeah, it's LeBron. What does he want to do today?
Did LeBron know Mike Gansey was the question.
But he's now with the Philadelphia 76ers. And look, we all know what the big talking points will be this offseason and off seasons moving forward. And it's eventually the when does Joel Embiid get moved discussion. And there's the Paul George discussion for now. He's got 2 years left on his deal. So we all knew that those questions were going to be asked. And we all know that Gansey's going to be in a weird spot because he can't talk about trying to trade somebody or badmouth somebody that's currently on the team because you don't know if you can even move them. They're two of the worst contracts in the NBA.
They're horrible.
In Paul George and Joel Embiid.
Joel's is the worst.
Yes, because it's longer and
it's the max.
The body's breaking down and all that kind of stuff. So you knew he was going to be put in a tough spot. So what we're going to do in this first segment is try to get a read on Mike Gansey. All right? Because the rest
I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this all morning.
The rest of the press conference was like, all right, he said the thing. I'm excited to be here in Philly. Love the city. My family and I are excited. My son has a Tyrese Maxey jersey. He said all the things that he's supposed to say that a new executive would say when they join an organization, especially in a starved town like Philadelphia. So let's start because Mike Gansey not only had his press conference yesterday, but he also joined Middays with Marks with John and Sean. And credit to John and Sean. Go back and listen to the interview. They pressed him on some things.
They absolutely did. They did not decide to welcome him to town with a butt-kissing softball interview, which I loved.
Yeah,
but they were very good about it.
Yeah,
they were very good about it. They didn't really create there was nothing.
No, first couple questions were about the family and what hair product he uses, and then they started hitting him over the head with some things. But we'll start with the press conference. Mike Gansey was asked, why the Sixers? Why did you pick Philadelphia? And take a listen to his answer.
It's the 76ers. I mean, obviously, it's a great organization, blue-collar people. The people are passionate. We got two really, really good young studs with Tyrese and VJ, and then we have, Joel and Paul. So those are the four we start with, and obviously when they play, we're pretty good. You could see how they were against Boston in the playoffs, and we just gotta dive into those four, get them on the floor together. Obviously, because we got to stay healthy, and then try to add some depth and get better in other areas.
Blue-collar people, he says. Mike, I want you to listen to the station and get comfortable with the fan base, because we have a bunch of this fan base now that lives in this city that defends guys like A.J. Brown for not even working hard. So the whole blue-collar thing, that was the father's.
That's what you out of that entire 30-second clip, that's what you catch?
No, I'm just saying to him that's the cliche. That is the cliche line of everybody who doesn't know anything about Philadelphia to say it's a blue-collar town. This is not a blue-collar town anymore. It isn't a blue-collar town.
Okay. That's what you caught.
Yes, I caught a guy who isn't really familiar with Philadelphia.
For 5 minutes.
He's gonna learn. Look, you can take out of it what you want to take out of it. You want to be all starry-eyed and warm and fuzzy? You can.
No.
You can do that.
Here's what my takeaway was. Other than what color our collars are,
yes,
and how big our collars are, because we obviously had Brian Colangelo.
We had a collar issue then.
He said the four. And obviously, a lot of people right away were like, oh, my God, he's talking about all four. I like that he led with Maxey and VJ. Because usually we have Joel Embiid. And my job is to find the best way to build around Joel Embiid. If you notice, he says, really like our two young players in Tyrese and VJ. And we have Joel and Paul. It wasn't like, hey, I came to Philadelphia because I wanted to make this work with Joel Embiid and Paul George. He led with the two young guys. That's how he started. I appreciated that. Of course, he had to give the obligatory answer of, we just got to get them healthy. Wow, Mike. I wonder what Daryl Morey was thinking. I wonder what Elton Brandis thought. I wonder what every coach and GM, Doc Rivers, over the years have thought.
I think
we got to get this guy healthy.
You love AI, and not Allen Iverson, but you do love Allen Iverson, too. That answer, if you had typed it into AI, that would have been what it spit out. That's what would spit out.
But the young guys is different. Usually it's the Joel Embiid thing.
He's starting a contract. He's got two young pieces to build around. But he knows he has two albatrosses, too, to build around, too.
And so he then was asked again about the big guys, the guys that are getting paid a lot of money. And this was his response, because he danced a little bit.
I don't look at it as a timeline. I just look at, we have those four, and we got to maximize those four. Obviously VJ and Tyrese are younger, but Paul and Joel can still play at a high level. I mean, we were 24 and 14 when Joel played, and obviously in the playoffs coming back from Boston, we got to rely on those four, and obviously keep them on the floor, and then just build around them.
See, that's bad. That was I heard that, and I sat there. I was waiting to go into the gym. I sat there and was like, oh, God. That's it? So we're going to build around those four. That's what we're going to do, because that's what he says is the plan, right? We're going to build around those four.
Well, at the beginning, maximize. Maximize could be trading.
We're going to he says build around those four. And he says it not only once, he says it later on, too. That, to me, just what made me go, I heard the Price is Right loser horns. Bum, bum, ba-doom. Because that tells me he doesn't have the ability to move them.
Well, and
that's what I take away. That's my takeaway is we're getting same old, same old. That's what we're going to get. We're not going to get dynamic. We're not going to get bold. We're getting.
Well, what if you literally can't move them?
But does he have the ability to even move them? He didn't have the ability to choose his coach.
Well, if he can't, no. Oh, you mean like there's somebody above him saying yes or no?
Yes. I didn't get the bold young executive is now in charge, and now he's freewheeling, and he can do whatever he wants. That's not the feeling.
Of course not.
I think
Bob Myers is a big hand on this.
But that's what I wanted.
Yeah, but don't you want Bob Myers? If it's a tandem of Myers and Mancey.
How about this?
The law firm of Myers and Mancey. I'm in, man.
I want Bob Myers to be an advisor, a guide, let me run something by you.
Sure.
I don't want Bob Myers to be the guiding force. And to me, I don't know.
Why not? He's had more success than Mike Gansey.
I just am not. Then then let Bob Myers do the job.
Well,
because
Josh Harris has him doing 7 other jobs.
Well, that's what I'm saying is then let Bob Myers do the job. Like, don't let Gansey do the job. I got to tell you, the first answer to me, though, that answer that you were thinking and the building around, it sounded like an AI answer. But when I heard the build around those 4, honestly, my head dropped. I was like, oh, God.
Well, now we have 2 clips from Middays with Marks, because then he joined Johnny Marks and Sean Brace like a half hour later.
Really good interview.
Again, credit to John Marks and Sean Brace. We've been in the position before where you're told that somebody's coming on at a certain time, and then
they kept delaying it.
And then you're like, all right, what are we doing
kept
next?
Delaying it.
It's a tough spot to be in for a lot of people. Oh, job's easy. It's not.
No.
Here's Mike Gansey. He was asked about Joel Embiid. Now, this is where it gets interesting because you hear the press conference, right? The press conference is built around these 4, and we got to get these guys healthy. You're talking about the AI answers. It's almost as if he was very well prepared.
Which, by the way, I appreciate being well prepared.
Is it different on a radio interview? And again, I want to give credit to John and Sean for both pressing him a little bit. Here he is talking about Joel Embiid.
Joel's ours right now. I've had great conversations with him. We FaceTimed. I'm actually going to see him in a couple days to kind of sit down in person with him. But, we just got to get Joel on the court. Obviously when he plays, we're really good. He's still a dominant force. I mean, he can get 25 in his sleep. And I know he's self-motivated. Obviously he doesn't like the questions about him not being available, but he wants to play. He wants to be on the court. And, that's on me. That's on our whole staff and Nick and the whole building to get him to his best self.
See, he says the right now at the beginning, which my ears perk up like, oh, what do you mean by right now? Does that mean he might not be? But then you hear the rest of the answer, and he's waxing poetically about him. But is that, I'm not going to say a bad thing about a guy that would be on our team, or I could talk this guy up and hopefully move him? Like, my brain is all over the place with this press conference and the interview yesterday about Joel Embiid. Do you think he wants Joel Embiid? Because I don't. I can't imagine Mike Gansey said, I'm going to Philadelphia to be the GM of Joel Embiid. I can't believe it.
I can't believe that he would either. I believe that he wanted I think he wanted a job. I think he wanted this job. And he came and he took it. I didn't like that answer. Did that answer inspire you?
Not really.
Like none of these answers I'm going to tell you right now, none of these answers inspired me. Like none of them. And I thought John and Sean did a great job, by the way. I loved their line of questioning. I didn't love his line of answering. I just wasn't I was waiting. I said, okay, this guy's cool. He's new age looking. He looks like he's going to be different. He looks like he's going to be bold. He looks like the kind of guy you're going to hire that maybe is going to be aggressive, a little out of the box. He looks a little different. I didn't get that at all yesterday. I swear, you did AI yesterday to an answer to a question, and I swear I was hearing AI answers yesterday. I just was like, okay, I'm getting nothing.
Is that all you can give about Joel Embiid right now? Because
it might be. But
I don't think Mike Gansey is here for the Joel Embiid stuff. I think Mike Gansey and John Marks made a great point yesterday. We, as a city, are so focused on Paul George and Joel Embiid, and do they move him? Any of them this offseason, right? It doesn't have to be Embiid. It could be Paul George. You're moving off one of the max contracts to get that off the books quicker. Mike Gansey doesn't have the same. He hasn't been here.
No, yeah, there's no.
He may have a handshake agreement with Joshua Harris and Bob Myers, like, hey, you got like 2 to 3 years to show us that you can turn this around, because we know that contract's probably not going to be movable for another year or two, if it's ever movable in Joel Embiid. If he finishes out
then they'll be 1 year out.
Well, right, exactly. So Mike Gansey, he doesn't have the same anger or exhaustion as we do when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is new for him.
That's perfect. What you just said is elite.
Well, I'm not. That's Johnny Marks.
No, but still, though, what you just said there, though, is elite. It's perfect, because that's what I didn't get. I didn't get a connection. I didn't get a connection to understanding what we've lived through, to understanding what the fan base was waiting to hear, to understanding what the fan base has lived through, to understanding what the fan base is longing for.
I did like his line yesterday when he was asked if they're close to a championship, and he said no. They got They got swept in the second round.
Well, but I mean,
yeah, but I like that. Like another GM could say, "Well, look at the talent that
they
have."
haven't been out of the second round since 2001.
Yeah, and he straight up said that.
Well, whoop-de-doo. Anybody could have figured that out. They haven't been close to a championship in a quarter of a century.
Okay. So what would he have said yesterday that would have inspired you?
This is an organization that in order to get to where we've got to be, there's going to have to be major change. Can major change happen quickly? I can't commit to that. But I am going to turn over every rock to make sure that I am trying to find out, is there a path? And if there is a path, I'm going to find it. Thanks. I didn't need AI to do that. But you know what? I would need permission to say that if I was in his role, and I don't know that he has permission to say that as you're trying to build a new stadium and you're trying to keep ticket sales going and everything like that. That is what I want to hear.
I want to hear somebody. Next job is a PR consultant.
I want to hear somebody being honest with the fan base. Because when you sit there and you tell me that you're going to build around those four, you're selling me a load of garbage because this team's not winning with that. That strategy's not winning. It's a quarter of a century. It's not winning. Going, well, we're going to build around those four. You tell me you're trying to build around Maxey. You tell me you're trying to build around youngsters. I'm in. You tell me you're trying to build around Joel Embiid. I'm out.
Do you think he's actually trying to build around Joel Embiid?
Then don't
I
tell
highly
me.
doubt
then
it.
don't tell
but
me that.
But he's going to say things because he's going to try to play
the
political game of I got to say all the right things.
You can tell me that you are going to try to be bold and aggressive as turning over this franchise. You've got to. You have a vision. You have a dream. I don't know. Here's what the team looks like today. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's going to look like in September. I don't know what it's going to look like in September a year from now. But I promise you this, my ear is going to be so attached to that phone because I'm going to uncover every single rock that I can to see what's out there because this doesn't work. What's been done here for a quarter of a century has not worked.
All right, well, there's one more clip because this is like the one that hurt me the most. Because I really hope that they're just like not just going to go through the motions. Here he is talking about Embiid, and listen to the way he talks about his health.
Obviously, I've just been here a week. I want to talk to Joel and see what he's thinking, how he's feeling. Obviously, he's somewhat healthy for the most part, right now. Obviously, finished the season. So where he's at physically, what he's doing right now today. And then, we got the medical staff and the coaching staff, and we're all going to huddle up and put a plan together. Once we get our schedule, obviously, for the season, we're going to look at that. And, maybe that's some back-to-backs, no back-to-backs. But, he's going to have input, and we're going to have input as well. We're just going to kind of huddle up and figure out that plan.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Here we are talking about the Joel Embiid health plan again, and it's like
he's going to have input. We're going to have input,
and that's the thing that sucks. That's the anchor with the Sixers, and that's why for the first time in my life, I've said I'm ready to move on from the big man because here is the new GM of the Philadelphia 76ers going on with the partner radio station and saying, yeah, he's somewhat healthy right now. We're going to try to come up with a plan. And I feel like I've heard that exact same answer from you. Tell me who. Coach, GM, executive, and Embiid himself. I've heard the same answer for 5 years now.
And Joel's not a doctor.
He's not.
Joel does not have the Joel does not have the expertise to be able to make medical decisions.
No.
Or to advise on what is best for his medical
No, his medical decisions are, I got out of bed, how does my knee feel
Correct.
this morning? That's his medical decision.
He does not. Right. I got to tell you.
So what read did you get? Those were the 4 questions and answers regarding Joel Embiid. Did you get a read that he's going to be potentially on the move? Did you get a read that he's building around him? Did you get a read that he's stuck with him? That's my read. Stuck with him. My read is not they're trying to build around Joel Embiid. I think he just said the politically correct answer of I'm not going to hurt anybody's feelings my first day on the job. 610-632-0975 is how you can climb in. Now, coming up next, I told you 17 minutes ago I couldn't wait for 6:30. We started the show talking about another Phillies win. Johnny, I read an article this morning The point of it did nothing for me. But when I noticed something, I said, really? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers introduced Gansey. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced their new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday, who will be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philly. He talked during that intro presser about the team being talented, but not necessarily championship caliber right now.
You know, they got swept in the second round, so it's not a championship caliber team right now, but we're going to work on that. Obviously, getting the big four together on the floor, and we're going to do everything we can to get the best players in here to help us get to the mountaintop.
His first task will be preparing for the NBA draft, which is just 2 weeks away. Sixers have picked number 22 overall. The Phillies took game one for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night as Christopher Sanchez had another strong start. He struck out 10 over 7 innings, allowing only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia also went yard for the third time in 5 games, so he's showing signs of a power surge. Phillies just keep winning. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound facing off against Dylan Cease. The Eagles start mandatory minicamp today, their first full team workouts of the offseason, and the Spurs took down the Knicks 115-111 to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals last night. Amy Fadul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour to the end of the show. She'll have some reaction to the Mike Gansey presser. Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cleveland Cavaliers, New Gansey in his time there, joins us at 9:05. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
This hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented by Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, they're here for the pro.
All right, it's 6:30 on this Tuesday morning here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Your thoughts from the Mike Gansey introductory press conference yesterday. What read did you get on the Joel Embiid, Paul George future? If they are both back, are you prepared for it? Do you believe he's building around them? What was your takeaway? 610-632-0975. But I want to bring this up. I don't want to make people wait anymore, Johnny. I read something this morning. You know, you guys, we all do our reading of websites and what kind of content, blah, 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 blah. And I was at foxsports.com this morning. I always check Fox. I check ESPN, NBC Sports Philadelphia. I'm all over the place. And I saw a headline for pinpointing every team's best offseason move in baseball. So they picked all 30 teams and what their best offseason move was. And I was
interesting. I like this.
I go, Did the Phillies have like a best offseason move? Like, I don't feel like they really did much. So I scroll and 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 I finally get to the Phillies.
What'd you get?
Re-signing Kyle Schwarber was their best offseason move. And I'm like, all right, well, like, I didn't expect anything else. Like,
what a move.
I know that there was talk about the Reds. I know that there was talk about the Pirates. And
Orioles,
from the very beginning, and the Orioles, from the very beginning, my first thought was,
go in there.
Those teams are not even close. And I would imagine that Kyle Schwarber, other than trying to hit 500 home runs, I believe still values winning. Kyle Schwarber seems like a guy that wants to be in a winning situation. Kyle Schwarber seems like a guy that wants to play for a contender. So I never bought those teams, even though Cincinnati tried. They did the key to the city. They had Mr. Schwarber throw the first pitch to Kyle. Like, I didn't buy into anything about Kyle Schwarber leaving. So I'm going, all right. Like,
it's because you're not a dope.
This is kind of a nothing burger for me that Kyle Schwarber was the best offseason move. But then I noticed something. Did you realize I said scrolling?
Yes.
This was also their latest power rankings. So they did power rankings and every offseason move for the Phillies.
Okay.
Take a guess where they have the Phillies.
Well, if you scrolled that much, I'm going to guess it's like 21.
Yeah, John?
I'm not sure. I'm going to say 16.
See, scrolling goes from 30th to 1.
Oh.
They have them at 5. Yeah.
What?
I could see that.
What?
I can't. And that,
what?
dude, it's amazing that you say that. Look, I get it. You could.
What are you talking about?
You can project and say, man, if the bats are really coming to life, this is that dangerous team. The only team that can compete with the Dodgers. We've read this article 3 years in a row. The one team that can compete with the Dodgers is the Philadelphia Phillies. And with the dominance of Christopher Sanchez and the dominance of Zach Wheeler, I get it. But there is no way I have watched the 5th best team in baseball play for 2 months.
Are you kidding me? Like, wait a minute. Now, here's where you get into the stupidity of these things.
I got you.
Is this supposed to be based on what we've actually seen or based on what somebody hopes and dreams?
Well, this guy doesn't hope and dream anything.
No, I mean,
he's a national writer.
No, is this what he thinks? Or is this what is actually he's seen?
I'm going to get, again, I think power rankings is what they think.
Well, if it's what he thinks, then that's just ridiculous. Like, it could be anything. Then it's a waste of time.
I don't think it's ridiculous.
All right, explain yourself why you don't
because
think
it's not.
No, I'm asking Connor why he doesn't think it's ridiculous. Because, look, I get it. They're playing very good baseball, and you said it yesterday. They have the best record since they made the managerial change. They have, is it the best record?
Second best
record in Major League Baseball after they moved on from Rob Thompson. So they've been red hot. But I still see a team that up until last week couldn't hit. Like, if it wasn't for the pitching, it's like the Eagles last year. If it wasn't for the defense, that Eagles team finishes below 500. If it wasn't for the Phillies starting pitching, those 3-2 wins, those 2-1 wins, those 4-3 wins, Those aren't wins. Those are losses, and we're talking about a team that's still below 500. So what do you mean you can see it?
Since Don Mattingly took over this team, they have the second best record in baseball. Their pitching staff is outstanding. They have an all-MLB closer who is perfect this year, in addition to two guys who should be in the Cy Young conversation in the National League. They have the home run leader in Major League Baseball. They have the batting average leader in Major League Baseball. They were, in the preseason, one of the favorites to win the World Series. The fact that you've seen an extended stretch from this team where they've had the second best record in baseball, on top of the initial projection that they were going to be one of the top teams, I'm not surprised at all they have them at 5. Now, the problem is the bar in the city is being 1. And we don't think they can get to 1 because of the issues with the roster. I'm still there with you. But look around baseball. They have the 7th best record right now in Major League Baseball.
Which is crazy within its own right?
Yeah.
The fact that they have the 7th best record, considering where they were at one point. We had, Amy was with us in studio last Friday. She'll be with us today from 8 to 10. She spoke with Brandon Marsh. She did a special with Marsh that'll air during the rain delays. And she said to him that they were 9-19 at one point, and he was shocked. Like, he was
Why?
like, wait, really? Wait. He knew that they were bad. He didn't realize how bad. I don't think the players track the records the way we do, right? Like, I think they just show up to the ballpark and play baseball. I don't think they're going, oh, we're 9-19. He didn't realize that they were that bad. And now they're 35-30. Like, that is a major turnaround. 5th best team in baseball?
36-30, by the way. Don't short
That's
them.
right. I read this. Sorry, this article was dropped yesterday. So another win. Right now, the 4 teams in front of the Philadelphia Phillies, according to this guy, that Rowan Kavner, 4 teams in front of the Phillies in terms of power rankings. The Yankees at 4, the Brewers at 3, the Dodgers at 2, and the team that you tried poo-pooing, Connor, the ATL Braves, the Atlanta Braves, the number 1 team in Major League Baseball, according to this guy's brain.
That's great. I mean, it's great. That's like saying, okay, so I just had my spring semester.
Okay.
So for January and February, some kid comes in and then does crap work. And then in March, they come in and do great work. So I'm supposed to ignore January and February when I'm giving them a grade. No, it's a body of work. This team is erratic. That's part of their DNA.
Yeah, but why are they?
And it's been part of their DNA. 5th best? Ridiculous.
Well, hold on. Why are they passing teams? Because other teams are also erratic.
They're going to.
Pittsburgh Pirates are red hot. They're 1 game over 500 right now.
I'm not worried about the Pittsburgh Pirates. I would tell you the Pittsburgh Pirates.
What I'm saying is the Pirates at one point were higher. I mean, that's the thing about power rankings. I know you're anti-power rankings.
No, I am, because of the fact is I want the power rankings to have I want the power rankings to mean something.
All right, fine. Then they're not fine. Then they're the 7th best team in baseball because they've the 7th,
I said if you tell me top 5 record. If you tell me 7th or 8th, I'm not going to argue. It's like the Jalen Hurts discussion.
But that's
if you tell
3
me,
spots.
If you tell me Jalen Hurts is the top 5 quarterback, I'm going to say no. If you tell me Jalen Hurts is a top 8 to 10 quarterback, I'm going to say, okay, I'll discuss that. If you tell me he's top 5, I'm going to say no. I don't think that's that hard. They're not. They're erratic, and their lineup sucks. Their offense sucks.
All right, so then here's the question.
Their offense has been good for a week, and now everybody's like, it's fixed.
Well, and that's why
we fixed it.
And that's why I can't see them as 5, because it took them 2.5 weeks to score 5 runs in a baseball game. Like, that's wild to me.
They were saving them.
So here's a question at 610-632-0975. To go along with our Sixers discussion, this is what you can send to the Davis Honda text line. Do the Phillies feel like they're back to being one of the best teams in baseball? I don't feel that yet. We talked about it yesterday. Are we looking at more of the positives or the negatives right now? I'm looking at more of the positives because they're playing good baseball. Yeah. Do I view them as a top 5 or one of the best? Like, use your adjective. If you're 5th in somebody's mind, are you?
You are one of the best teams in baseball. If you say that they're 5th, they're one of the. You're saying they're one of the best teams in baseball.
All right. So then the question is, do you believe the Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball? I don't. As of right now,
I do
obviously
not.
Subject to change.
I do not right now. I will need to see more than this offense having a good week. A good week.
Connor, you said you can see it.
I do believe that.
Do you believe the Philadelphia Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball?
I do. But I think there's a sizable gap between them and like the top two teams. That's my biggest issue. Yeah, they're one of the best teams in baseball.
9.5 games is the sizable
Not even
gap.
that, just the way they're playing right now. You look around the league. Like, I think you guys are evaluating World Series when you say one of the best teams in baseball.
I think you would be.
Well, at this point,
isn't that what you're saying?
The Phillies have also set themselves up.
We're not saying the best team in baseball. We're
you're saying one of the best teams. That means you are in the mix to go to the World Series. You're one of the mix to win the World Series.
Look around the league right now. They are.
I do not. I'm going to look at our show notes just last week. It doesn't even have. I don't even have to go back a week. About how we did it. We did a show less than a week ago about how pathetic the Phillies offense.
Yeah,
was.
and that's why I'm
about how the Phillies. Okay, so you're taking a small sample size and going, it's fixed. We fixed it. Everything's okay.
The manager.
Everything's okay. We had 4 years of data on the manager. We fixed it. It's a week. The Phillies are back. No, I need to see more. Do I think the Phillies are a top 10 team in baseball? Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Do you think so?
Top 10? Absolutely, you got it.
This guy has the Phillies at 5 on his power rankings, which we will say as a show, if you're top 5, you are considered one of the best teams in baseball.
No, you're considered a World Series favorite. You're one of the favorites.
We'll ask you. Do you believe the Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball and a favorite for the World Series?
There you go.
610-632-0975. Somebody wants to know if somebody peed in your Cheerios this morning.
Well, we'll see if we'll see. Look, bring some topics that are going to put a smile on my face. Mike Gansey didn't.
What topics?
I'm smiling all day.
What, am I supposed to come up with topics just to make you happy?
I'm saying no.
Because right now there's not much.
No, I'm not going to shake pom-poms for you, make you feel good. I'm going to tell you what I feel.
Who are you talking to? I agree with you.
I'm answering the texter. Don't be sensitive. I'm answering the texter.
All people, you think I'm
Come
the
on
sensitive
now.
one? Like,
Come on now.
My name's been being drugged through the mud for 3 days now in this damn city.
Well, don't worry about it.
Coming up next, we get your responses on the Phillies question, and we'll try to figure out, well, if you don't believe that they're 5th, how far off are they? It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5, The Fanatic.
All right, a lot of great reaction right away on YouTube to this Phillies discussion. Rowan Kavner of or of Fox Sports, Foxsports.com, has the Phillies 5th in his power rankings in Major League Baseball. There's some great responses that we will get to on YouTube. But before that, let's check the poll of the day, brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel and the team at Iron Mountain Men's Health. Keeps the poll strong for 4 hours every single morning. And Mike Gansey was introduced yesterday, had his introductory press conference. Also joined Middays with Marks yesterday. Credit to Johnny Marks, Sean Brace. Great interview.
Really
Check
good,
it out.
Really good listen.
97.5thefanatic.com. You can go back on YouTube and watch it. And, you know, what were some of your takeaways from this press conference? There was a lot of build around. And he's got to say, the big man, whether he means it or not.
Were you moved? Were both of you? Did you listen to either interview? And were you moved by Mike Gansey?
The only thing I liked was he didn't try to sell us a bag of goods like this is such a great organization. They've been so successful. He didn't do the whole, I came here because of Embiid. That's why the first clip we played, I took away the Maxey and Edgecombe. And we have Joe and Paul. Like, he didn't lead with Embiid, which usually people normally do.
All right, that would be then that is in and of itself, I guess, a positive sort of thing to take away. The idea of I was like, why'd you take that? Oh, it's the Sixers.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Every team in the Eastern Conference pretty much has been to the Eastern Conference Finals since the Sixers have been. I mean, he's like, well, why'd you take that? Oh, it's the Sixers. I mean, it's like he acted like he's taking. Oh, it's the Celtics.
He's a big Julius Erving fan.
Oh, it's the Golden State Warriors.
Franchise.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Yes, it's a History Channel franchise. It is one of the most morose franchises in the NBA that hasn't done a thing in the modern era.
Well, what's the poll say there, Mr. Thomas?
So our question today, after hearing Mike Gansey's press conference yesterday, how do you feel about the direction the Sixers are heading? You have three options here: a better direction, a worse direction, or they're stuck. 50% of our responders right now are saying they're stuck. 35% saying better direction, only 15% saying worse direction.
So my answer, because it's the closest one to what I would have said, is they're stuck, ... for now. They're stuck because nobody's taking a beat. Sorry, Mike Gansey.
Yeah, nobody's taking it.
Nobody's
that's where
taking
we're
it.
at.
So they're stuck. Connor Thomas, you could have been GM. I wouldn't say
I'm available.
I might say worse direction if you were the GM, or Pobo, excuse me. But they're stuck.
Well,
and they'll be stuck until they move on.
Connor would have come out and told me that it was good. That things are good here.
No, that's Ray Dunn.
No,
Ray
I
Dunn
would
would
not
say that. I don't think Connor would
you
say
would have
that.
found a way to be positive at that press conference. You would have been.
No, one of my favorite things is that he wasn't overly positive of where they're at, saying they're not a championship caliber team. Like, I didn't want to be inspired yesterday. Like, I don't want you to sell me something you can't do, and I know you can't do. Like, that helps nobody.
Thing is, I don't want to be inspired by bull crap. I want to be inspired by your telling me, I know how bad this is. I realize this is bad. This is a franchise that hasn't won since 2001. I realize how bad this is. And I realize you've been sold a bill of goods over and over again for a generation. Let me tell you something. It is going to be my relentless struggle to fix this. And I'm going to do everything I can. But I feel you. And I know why I know why you're probably hearing this and saying, I don't believe you. But I'm asking you, give me some rope. Let me have a chance. Because I can tell you, I'm gonna try my damnedest to deliver you out of this mess. I'd love to hear some of that.
Yeah, that just sounds like Mike Gansey with a thesaurus. I mean, there's no promises in there of anything changing. He's going to try, and I think we heard that from him yesterday, talking about being aggressive and things of that nature. But there's nothing he can really do, and that's why I didn't take anything negative away from him.
Yeah, but
also not much positive.
Ultimately, they're stuck because they're
stuck.
They're trapped right now, and you can thank Daryl Morey for that. Like that's where we're
the
at.
Sixers escape room.
Yeah. Oh, it might take a couple of times.
Or lack of escape room.
All right, some comments on YouTube. The reason why we love our YouTube chat so much is the immediate reaction to some of our topics. And we got into this Phillies thing. We'll check the Davis on a text line afterward. So Mopar chimes in right away. Phils are top 10. Greg says 5 is about right. They were 9-19 before the Don Mattingly era started, and a good point that he made, they just beat multiple teams in the top 10 of these quote-unquote power rankings.
They were the second worst team in baseball when Don Mattingly was fired.
Right.
They've been on a great, great tear.
Yes.
The truth lies somewhere in there. The truth lies somewhere. And where does the truth usually lie? Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I think they're closer to the team that they've been under Mattingly.
Yes.
I think they're closer to that team. But to tell me that all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, now they're top 5. Top 10? I'm totally bought in. But there's a huge difference between top 5 and top 10.
Let me give you teams 10 through 6.
Okay.
Again, if you're just tuning in, there's a MLB power ranking.
Okay, so you're going backwards from 10?
Yeah, and for the conversation's sake, I agree with John. I don't see them as a top 5 team. I'm not saying they can't be, but
exactly.
As of today, we've been living this season. I can't look at them as a top 5 baseball team.
You're not saying they can't be, and I'm not saying it either.
So the White Sox are at 10. Kind of shows you the state of the baseball. They're 34-31. They're at 10.
Which is just amazing, though.
The Cardinals are at 9, who you're fighting with a wild card spot for right now. And you and I just talked about this off air the other day. Cardinals aren't like a team where you're like, ooh, the Cardinals.
I think the Cardinals are an overvalued stock, so okay, I can get that.
The Mariners, who are just 2 games over 500,
I like them.
Are 8th.
I think the Mariners are a undervalued stock.
All right. The Rays are currently at 7th. I think they've hit a bit of a skid recently.
I think they are an undervalued stock.
And so that's why they've dropped to 7. Then you have the Guardians, who I really like the Guardians.
So do I.
They just don't pay anybody. They're at 6. That's probably the one team I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, you could flip-flop those teams.
Yeah, I could flip-flop that.
But we're talking about one space here. That makes me very comfortable saying, hey, I'll put them at 5.
It just goes to show you how top-heavy Major League Baseball is, and then how, mediocre. There's a huge mediocre.
That's why the sport needs a sour cat.
And that's why the extra wild card team has benefited the Phillies in the past. But it kind of takes away from the trade deadline because teams think that they're still in it because there's a lot of just baseball that's being played.
That's why the idea of October baseball for this team is such a foregone conclusion for me. I would not lose 1 ounce of sleep. Do you lose an ounce of sleep? I don't think you lose an ounce. I would not lose any sleep at all wondering if the Phillies are going to be a postseason team.
All right. Connor,
not at all.
What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? Phil Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington. Are the Phillies, and we're adding the word, considered one of the best teams in baseball, or the words, because this guy has them top 5. Are they? What do we got?
This texter says they have 3 guys in the top 15 for MVP, not including Marsh, who's having an MVP-type season. They've been one of the best teams for over a month now. It's not crazy to have them at 5.
They have been for over a month.
I will say this real quick. I will say 0% chance Brandon Marsh wins MVP.
Is there less than 0?
Yeah. I get what the texter's saying. He's having a very, very good season. There's Shohei
he's having an amazing.
Has something to
he's
say
having an amazing season.
He's having an amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It really is. All right, coming up next, we won't go away from this Phillies discussion. Are the Phillies, in your mind, one of the best teams in baseball? This guy's got him 5th. Do you believe that? 610-632-0975. But also, Eagles begin mandatory minicamp today, Johnny. Let's get all hyped up for.
I'm ready.
Usually a letdown because there's 2 days of a little extra practice. But we have to react to one of the biggest news in sports yesterday. A ruling in the world of college football that no one can make sense to me, John. But we will spin it into an Eagles topic.
I like that.
Because this is unprecedented territories. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
A new look for the Sixers. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday, who's going to be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philly and get this Sixers team, somewhere deeper in the postseason. He talked about being creative and aggressive in trying to do that.
We're going to adapt. I know my philosophy is we're going to look at everything. We've got a great staff here that's going to get creative. We're going to be aggressive, and we're going to turn over every stone and try to get the best players in here and make some moves that are going to help us win.
First up for him and his staff will be preparing for the NBA draft. Just 2 weeks away, the Sixers have number 22 overall pick in the first round. The Phillies took game one for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night. Christopher Sanchez, another strong start. He struck out 10 over 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia went yard for the third time in 5 games, so he's showing signs of a potential power surge. The Phillies could certainly use that. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Dylan Cease up in Toronto. The Eagles start mandatory minicamp today, their first full team workouts of the offseason. And in the NBA, the Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111 to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals last night. Amy Fadul will join us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cavs, will join us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa. Borgata Hotel, Casino, and Spa presents Summer Social Americana, a summer legacy, June 26th, hosted by award-winning chef Michael Simon. Visit theborgata.com, 21 or older. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic.
Now back to Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, coming up in close to 10 minutes, the major story that took place in the world of college football yesterday, but we will turn this into an Eagles discussion because I'm really curious how the world has changed, and I'm curious how forgiving people are in 2026. We already know that people are more forgiving than ever before. This is new. We'll get into that coming up in a little bit this segment. But today's day one of Eagles mandatory mini camps. They're in shells. They're there, and we'll get more tomorrow. Like tomorrow will be more of a day where we can react to stuff.
Well, we get to hear from Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, Sirianni speaks at 12:30 today.
I'll be on Middays with Marks probably.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's gonna be some things that he says he's excited. And, a lot of guys, 70-man roster. There'll be a lot of Nick Sirianni-isms.
We're looking to build around Embiid.
Yeah,
Sure
I need to.
I don't think even Nick Sirianni would try to sell us on that.
We have to hear what Sirianni's new phrase is, because he usually adds
There's
a new phrase
word. There's a new word. It's just as we will look for it today and try to identify it by tomorrow.
Yeah. So there's not much to really look forward to. It's another step closer to another season of the Philadelphia Eagles where we will still have high expectations. And there's a lot of great storylines that we're going to be following this season. And we know just how close we are reaching the end for some guys, right? Like, we're reaching the end of Lane Johnson's career. We're reaching the end of potentially Landon Dickerson's career. We're reaching the end of the offense being paid a hell of a lot more money than the defense.
Yes.
Because the defense is soon going to get paid.
Which you got to take advantage of.
So this is kind of like that last season, it feels like, where
got to get it done.
You can win with what you have. Then it's going to be, all right, how are we going to get back? Because right now your roster is pretty much who's been here.
It's one of the reasons why I say anybody who tells me that, yeah, they may move on from Jalen Hurts at the end of this year, it is doubling down on stupid. They're not doing that. Not with this defense set up like it is. You're going to throw away this window and go, yeah, we're going to just throw the keys to the offense to some rookie that we pick in the draft and try to do that.
He's built to take
Andy
over.
Dalton?
Yeah,
Andy Dalton. By the way,
years left.
Second straight week, Andy Dalton. What did I say to DeCecco a couple weeks ago? I was like,
and him getting the play.
I was like, look, will there be a narrative shift in Philadelphia? Because there were a lot of Tanner, Tom Brady, McKee people out there. Oh, man, he's great. He's great. He's really good. He can sling it.
Remember, for 2 years, Tanner McKee has been on the trade block before the draft. And for 2 years, Tanner McKee is still here after the draft.
Andy Dalton gets second-team reps.
That's all you need to know. The rest of the NFL is not talking about Tanner McKee like Eagles Twitter is.
The Red Rocket, right, Connor?
Isn't it the more...
We're moving on.
Yeah, come on now.
Red Rifle.
Red Rifle.
Red Rifle. Okay, my bad, guys.
That's a bad one. Come on now.
He's done that before.
Know, people think I'm serious. All right, what do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You said a lot of people have chimed in about the Phillies. This morning, we had a plan for the show, right?
Right.
It's mandatory minicamp day, and Mike Gansey spoke yesterday.
But,
and then I go to foxsports.com, and I go, let me see what they wrote about the Phillies' best offseason move. Of all teams, they had all 32 teams.
Yes.
This is the best move that each team made this offseason. All 30, excuse me. And I started scrolling, looking for the Phillies. I was like, where are they? And I did not realize that I was also on their power rankings. And the Phillies are considered the fifth best team in baseball, which means they're considered one of the best teams in baseball. I don't feel that yet. What do we got?
A lot of people on the text line do. Ms. from Northeast Philly says, I think two things can be true. I do believe the Phillies are a top 5 team, but I also believe it's by default. Outside of the Braves, Dodgers, and Brewers, who can you definitively say are that much better than the Phillies? And the way they're playing right now, I agree. I need to see more, but based on the rest of the league, they're top 5.
Just last week, middle of the week, we did shows on this show
on how they can't hit,
about how the Phillies had the worst offense for a 3-week period in franchise history, and how we took texts, calls, how this team was pathetic.
Top 5, baby.
And now in 1 week, it's fixed.
Top 5, baby.
Everything's fixed.
Well, Dallas Garcia goes yard again yesterday.
It's all fixed,
maybe we got the right-handed power bat.
Hey.
Remember what Dombrowski said last year? Dombrowski said after the trade deadline, Max Kepler's swinging a good bat right now. Max Kepler also is juicing. Look, I'm not saying Garcia is doing that. Garcia's swole already. He doesn't need it.
I'm happy that it's happening, but I'm going to need to see more than a week. And the thing is, that was last Wednesday.
Well, it's only Tuesday.
That means we have gone 6 days, and the audience, it seems like there's a big positive flip because recency bias.
Don't forget this article dropped yesterday.
It's unbelievable.
So it's been 5 days
unbelievable
since that show.
Last week it was a horrendous stretch, one of the worst in franchise history.
All right, what else we got? This is fascinating to me. What else we got?
All right, we have more people positive on the Phillies here. Mitch in Florida checks in, says, if the Phillies are not number 5, who are you moving ahead of them? I don't see many other teams in baseball that I could say are better than them.
Well, and that's why when we go through the other teams, I could see Cleveland ahead of Philadelphia. But that's one. That's one team.
Yeah.
So to the guy's point, I get what you're saying.
I get it.
It just doesn't feel like it.
No, and they have to show you much more because the 9-19, those 28 games, you cannot wipe them off the map. You cannot say they didn't happen, they didn't exist. That was these same players. And that these guys don't have that in them? Oh, they have that in them. They have another terrible stretch in them. I guarantee it.
26-11 since Don Mattingly takes over.
Well, that's just called, that's called good managing, kids. Just good managing, kids.
Of course. Go ahead, Connor. Of course. Magic Mattingly. John and Don sitting in a tree.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe. There you go.
Jim Salisbury also yesterday. Rob Thompson didn't do anything wrong.
And then what? Go listen to the interview.
I know.
And then he agrees with me on the next 3 points.
Agreed that a change
you're
needed
right.
to happen.
Yeah, you're right. A change needed to happen. Oh yeah, he did manage a bad series against the Dodgers. Oh yeah, it's like okay, well then you did agree with me. But you know what? Much like our own Colin Newby last night on Twitter. Next time, Colin, tag me. It's people liked Rob Thompson. I love when people like a guy that they cover. That's awesome. I like that you like people. We're talking about the performance. We're not talking about the person. Rob Thompson was a wonderful person. He still is. He's still alive. Wonderful guy. That doesn't mean he was a good manager and he was doing a good job because he wasn't.
Yeah, now the 4 postseason appearances, 2 division titles.
No, if you want to go his resume, he had a nice run.
Ain't
you
that
want to
your
talk
Hurts
about?
point?
If you want to say that he had terrible postseason, he did.
Here, Connor. Isn't that your Hurts point? Wow.
There you go.
And I'm the one that's the enemy. That's you. That was Connor Thomas, everybody.
Rob Thompson was a journeyman who had never gotten his chance to manage. Jalen Hurts has been a champion and has been a top player in his field ever since he's played the game. To compare Jalen Hurts to him is freaking ridiculous.
Angry mob, go after Connor.
Ridiculous.
Right, I'm off the book.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Now. All right. Speaking of off the books.
Yes.
Should Texas Tech be off the books when it comes to gambling?
Yeah, they should be.
Yesterday was an insane day in the world of college football, but honestly, this is the world of sports. So in case you guys have not been following this saga of Brendan Sorsby, we've talked about him a couple of times on this show, just updating you on what was going on. Brendan Sorsby was with Indiana, then he transfers to Cincinnati, then he transfers to the Red Raiders, Texas Tech. And Sorsby was pinched for gambling on the teams he played for.
Over and over and over again.
$90,000 worth. And
over years.
I understand NIL is a thing nowadays. John, did you have $90,000 to gamble when you were in college?
I did not, and my uncle was a very famous bookmaker on the main line.
Connor,
God
when you
rest his
struck
soul.
your NIL deal at the Washington College of Maryland.
Yeah, the bookstore gave me like $20 in credit. That's all I got.
Did you use $90,000 to bet?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so this kid that was he made a few mistakes.
Oh, no, this is great. No. He's just, the over yesterday, I counted yesterday at one point on one interview on ESPN, people trying to make excuses for him. The 20, he made a mistake.
A mistake.
How many mistakes did he make over a 4-year period? He made a mistake every Saturday morning. He made a mistake constantly. He made a mistake after practices when he has fed information.
Yeah, no, this was his mistake. All right, guys, so-and-so's not going to be able to play this weekend. Oh, okay, let me.
There it is. Oh, yeah, that's good. There was mistakes.
Yeah, just so people know, he didn't bet $90,000 once.
No.
So he didn't make one $90,000 mistake.
No, he bet over and over and over again.
And so in case you're wondering, all right, so what are you guys getting at? He's been granted the injunction requested by Texas Tech, and Sorsby will be eligible for the 2026 college football season. Now, this is a very important note. The NCAA didn't grant it. A judge in the District Court of Lubbock County, Texas did. Connor, history lesson. Lubbock County holds the city of Lubbock. Do you know where Texas Tech resides?
I'm going to guess it's Lubbock.
Wait a minute. So what you're telling me is the judge of Lubbock County may have gotten a nice little handout by the School of Texas Tech and said, you know what? Yeah, I think this guy is clean. I think he made a few mistakes. And his future should not be impacted by this. Oh, by the way, I have a Red Raiders tattoo on my ass.
How about that? First of all, it's not just one judge.
Allegedly.
Because there's 3 judges that are part of this whole thing. By the way, all Texas Tech.
Yeah.
This is absolutely ridiculous, and hopefully there will be
crazy.
some step in. And I'm glad to see now it appears that there are multiple schools that are saying, remove Texas Tech from any schedule. Do not schedule games with Texas Tech.
So
because they are this is ridiculous that the judges would be able to, first of all, manipulate the system like this.
Yeah.
And that this and it was great is they're on TV last night going, the kid made a mistake. And then it was, the kid has a disease.
Yeah.
He has a disease. So he needs to be, we need to be sympathetic to kids who have diseases. I'm like, oh, would you please stop?
So some of the
Would
aftermath,
you please stop?
you mentioned schools are saying that they don't want to play.
Yes.
So
Georgia was the first one of the SEC.
Thank you. This isn't like TU, baby. This, I love you guys. This isn't Temple going, we don't want to play them this year. No, this is Georgia.
Yep.
One of the top programs in college football. This is Nebraska. Very well-known program in college football. After Nebraska says we ain't playing those guys, Pete Thamel puts out a report that multiple Big Ten schools are saying, you know what? We ride with Nebraska. We also don't want to play Texas Tech. I don't know what's going to happen because if these teams are saying we are not playing Texas Tech, is Texas Tech going to be like the next Notre Dame where they're not associated with the conference and they're just playing random schools all across the country and somehow still make the college football playoff?
They're not going to make any. They're not going to have any games to play.
That's where we're heading right now.
Yes, and that's the way it should be. If you get a clown judge case where the clown judge is going to make a ruling like this, then when a panel of judges that are just going to make a case like this, then the other programs need to say no. We're gonna protect the integrity of the game. This young man, I'm so tired of hearing about it. This young man knew exactly what he was doing, and the disease that he has is the disease of me. Nobody ever told this little guy that he wasn't the center of the universe.
Right.
So he got to do whatever he thought he could do whatever he wanted to do and get away with it. Well, he can't, and now he's being smacked down about it, and people are like, well, you can't take away his livelihood. No, he
now
took,
the thing is, not everyone's saying that.
But he took away his livelihood.
Daniel Jeremiah, he puts out a tweet that's just great. He goes, here's a list of enforceable rules in college football. And it was just blank. And that's what Connor said last week. There are no rules. Kevin Clark, who works with ESPN and does college football stuff, as disastrous a ruling as there has ever been in modern sports. The pathway is now clear. Gamble as much as you like, including on your own team, and hope you are or get good enough that you can lawyer up down the line. A much bigger disaster than anything with NIL or portal. And that's the deal. So people go, well, what do you mean good enough? Because I know that this town's not a big college football town.
Yes.
Like we've talked about that numerous times.
Many times.
Brendan Sorsby is considered a top prospect.
He is.
So this isn't like some guy that stinks. And if he stunk, then you're just like, all right, well, let's do away with this kid. This guy's not going to help us in any ways. This guy's just a detriment. Texas Tech wants him to play.
Desperately.
Because he is a good football player. So here's how we're going to turn it into an Eagles discussion to make it feel a little bit more at home for the Philadelphia fan that might not be the big college sports fan. No, we're not doing the should the Eagles draft a quarterback show. All right, let me make that abundantly clear considering the current events of this program. Let's say the Eagles were in need of a quarterback, and this guy is the top guy going into an NFL draft. Would you draft him?
Depends on the year Hurts has.
No. Forget Jalen Hurts.
Hell no.
Forget Andrew Painter when we talk about his 17 ERA.
Hell no.
If I told you that the Eagles were in need of a quarterback and they have a top pick, are you drafting a kid that got suspended for gambling on his own team over and over again? Multiple programs, mind you, and had to go through the court of law in order to play again. And again, I'm sure somebody got a handout
Well, it
because
certainly
Lubbock
appears
County
that way
just
then.
so happens to be the county where Texas Tech is. So I read an article this morning from Rob Rang, also of Fox Sports, NFL draft analyst.
Okay.
He gives his comps to who Sorsby is. By the way, he said if Sorsby went in this past draft, he could have challenged Fernando Mendoza as the number 1 overall pick.
If you're just going by the measurables, he absolutely could have.
His comp right now is between Baker Mayfield and Jackson Dart. Baker Mayfield is a solid quarterback, and there's a lot of Jackson Dart love. He talks about teams where it makes sense. He does not have the Eagles as one of them. But this is a guy that's going to be considered an early, or from a talent perspective, a top pick in the NFL draft.
From a talent perspective, yes.
Red flags could obviously knock that down a peg.
Well, he's nothing but a walking red flag. That's what he is, and absolutely not.
I know how we can be sometimes. If it helps our teams, we ignore things. We have gotten much better as a society when it comes to things like domestic violence. We've gotten much better. It wasn't that long ago we were giving a standing ovation for a guy that was seen hitting his wife, and he won a World Series, so we celebrated him.
And we hated Odubel, but we liked
because
this guy.
because we've gotten better as a society.
Yes.
So this is new. This is the first time. Like, this guy got caught for gambling on the teams that he's a part of and could still be eligible, will be eligible for an NFL draft and could be selected by an NFL team. If he is perfect for your team, would you draft him?
No.
I'm out.
I'm not touching this guy.
You can't. You can't.
Team will.
You can't.
Somebody will.
Somebody will.
Oh, no, somebody will.
Dallas.
What do you
Some
say?
franchise.
The Ravens took Diego Pavia.
I don't think the Cowboys will,
Undrafted,
because
but-
they don't have to do it. But I understand that kind of mentality of that kind of team, Connor.
Cleveland, come on down.
Like, that there'll be some team will take a flyer on him. Absolutely, some team that needs to. The Eagles don't need to.
They don't need to.
And that's one of the things that they know is that they've built an organization where they sort of pride themselves on not doing stuff like that.
Yeah, they are a very good culture. We use the word culture a lot. Sometimes
Sure.
we overuse it, but here's the deal. Howie has been very upfront with, if there's anything that involves violence toward a woman on our team, they're off.
Right. They're
Right.
off the board.
They're off the board. We are not targeting that person. This is new. And I wonder how many teams say, yeah, that guy's off our board. I wonder how some teams go, well, if he's fixed.
How's he fixed?
I don't know. He's seeking help, John.
He's seeking help for his disease?
For his disease. That's
Yes,
what
for
people are
his
saying.
disease. Yeah.
So would Brendan Sorsby, the guy that got pinched for gambling on multiple accounts. I'm not talking about like accounts of gambling accounts. I'm talking about Indiana, Cincinnati, and now he's with Texas Tech.
This guy went out of his way to be – he was calculating and crooked for a long time.
So is he off your big board immediately if you needed a quarterback? I want immediate reaction on this coming up next, 610-632-0975. I see Trevor Rice on our YouTube chat. Pete Rose has got to be rolling in his grave right now. It's crazy. This is the first time ever where a guy got caught and is allowed to still play. Are we ever going to hear from the guys in baseball again? Who was the guy with Cleveland? The relief pitcher.
Emmanuel Clase.
We'll never hear. That guy's gone. That guy
know-
might not be in the States
And
anymore.
we
He probably pitched for Texas Tech.
You know, we never heard
He might have eligibility.
Pete Rose had a disease.
Yeah, nobody
We have
ever
to
said
forgive Pete Rose because he had a disease.
that. So, where are you guys at with this? Because this is new. It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. What perfect timing to talk about my FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm allowed to bet. I don't play for any programs. If I was allowed to bet on my Sunday League team, then I'd be probably working in some murky territories.
I'd
all
take
right?
the under.
No. Usually you take the over in these leagues because there's no defense, especially when you have 8 guys every single Sunday. Biggest stage in world soccer is just days away, and every goal changes everything. And now FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, is giving you a reason to root for every single one. This is so cool because this is perfect for me. I have been honest. I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world. I do love the World Cup, though. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. That's right. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. So let's say you think France is going to win it all. Mbappe. See, I know one player. You think France is going to win. pick like the biggest blowout that you think France will have. If they score 5 goals, you get added bonus for every single goal that's scored. Even if they let one up, you get an added bonus for it. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. That's FanDuel.com/local. Let there be goals on FanDuel. You got to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania, opt-in required. Must apply bonus token. Bonus issued is knowledgeable bonus bets that expire 7 days at the receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Work to do for the Sixers. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday. He's going to be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philadelphia. And he talked about the team being talented, but not championship caliber right now.
You know, they got swept in the second round, so it's not a championship caliber team right now, but we're going to work on that. Obviously, getting the big four together on the floor, and we're going to do everything we can to get the best players in here to help us get to the mountaintop.
So there's work to do for the Sixers. His first task, Mike Gansey that is, will be preparing for the NBA draft, which is just 2 weeks away. The Sixers have number 22 overall for their first-round pick. The Phillies took Game 1 from the Blue Jays 5-2 last night as Christopher Sanchez had another strong start. Sanchez struck out 10 over 7 innings, allowed only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia went yard for the third time in 5 games. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Dylan Cease. The Eagles start mandatory minicamp today. First full team workouts of the offseason. Nick Sirianni will speak with the media at 12:30. And the Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111 last night to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals. A.B. Fadul joins us from the 8 o'clock hour till the end of the show. Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cleveland Cavaliers, talks Mike Gansey with us at 9:05. This update is brought to you by Modelo. Don't miss the first Modelo match night of the summer. Join Sean Brace this Sunday from 4 to 6 at Trademan's for a block party with $5 Modelo drafts, exclusive giveaways, and all the soccer action with 97.5 The Fanatic. Visit 975thefanatic.com for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and
If you want to see their wonderful faces, check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
7 a.m. hours brought to you by the BetParks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the BetParks app. Play all your favorite casino games. There's always another way to win on the BetParks online casino and sportsbook. Got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we're reacting to the Mike Gansey press conference yesterday. Do you feel any sort of way after you heard it? That's our poll of the day we'll get to coming up in a little bit. But, do you have a feel that Joel Embiid's going to be traded? Is he going to be here? Is he going to be here because they want him here? Or is he going to be here because they can't move him? We're talking Phillies. Somebody has the Phillies as the 5th best team in Major League Baseball. I guess record-wise, you could say they've played like it. But we've also lived it, and you mentioned it, John, just last week. We were talking about how this team can't hit, and now a week goes by.
It was just the middle of last week, and now everybody's like, it's fixed.
They're the 5th best team in baseball.
We're 5th best, baby.
But we also just opened up the discussion about Brendan Sorsby, the player at Texas Tech who was caught gambling both at Indiana and Cincinnati, and a judge in Lubbock County, multiple judges in Lubbock County, the home of Texas Tech, said, no, he's good. He can play this year, which is just crazy within its own right that a judge in
multiple judges in a panel
in Lubbock County can
that?
overrule the NCAA. Like, isn't that kind of strange? Like, imagine if something like that happened in Major League Baseball and the commissioner was like, the judge said.
The thing is, these injunctions that they happen all the time in these regional courts, and then they usually get turned over. I have a feeling you're going to see Texas Tech go, we're getting into some troubles here, because there are going to be teams that are just going to say, we are not playing it.
Well, they put out a statement. Let me find the statement that they made. And again, our question off of this is whether or not, no, we're not doing this, should the Eagles draft a quarterback conversation. If the Eagles were in need of a quarterback, would you select this kid that is being talked about as one of the top prospects at quarterback? They said that one guy said that if he was in the draft last year, he could have been the first quarterback off the board over Fernando Mendoza, who we've been talking about as the number 1 overall pick for months.
Absolutely.
And there's a comp of Baker Mayfield, Jackson Dart. So we're not doing comps of Teddy Bridgewater. Like, we're talking about some pretty good quarterbacks in the NFL.
Unfair ricochet shot to Teddy, 2 gloves there.
Texas Tech's Director of Athletics, Kirby Hocutt, chimes in. As we have said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brendan's case warranted permanent ineligibility. As he returns to our football program, we remain committed to supporting Brendan's recovery and ensuring his compliance with the court's order. A comprehensive support structure, including clinical care, monitoring, and compliance checks, will remain fully in place for the duration of Brendan's time as a student at Texas Tech. Now, this is a great response by our man JM on YouTube. Now, we'll get to the text line here. He says, nah, I don't need another player without self-control. And he follows up with, especially not at such a demanding position. I haven't even thought about quarterback. Like, not that it's, he's a defensive back. It's all good.
Sure.
But JM's on to something.
You can control so much.
Quarterback. Like, imagine this is the quarterback of your team is the biggest name. Unless you play for the Cleveland Browns and Myles Garrett was on that team and you just haven't had a quarterback in 20 years. But look, there was more Shedeur Sanders talk last year than Myles Garrett, and that guy was the 3rd-string quarterback to start the season. I haven't even thought about the whole quarterback angle.
It's terrible because the young man has no integrity. And I don't know how his counseling is going to fix that. His integrity is the problem, not just his obsession with the phone and the obsession with gambling all the time. His disease. He has an integrity problem. And that's the problem that I think Howie Roseman and others would be looking at and going, I can't trust him to lead. I cannot trust this young man to stand in front of a room and be the leader.
It's crazy.
Because he is going to do things that are all about him. He's not going to do what's best for his teammates. He's going to do what's best for him. So that's the big issue that he's got. But, look, he may have all the talent in the world, but the integrity issue is going to trace
people
him.
usually turn a blind eye to it. Now,
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
Do you think they will get a call from the coach, hey, we're going to run this route, and then he pulls the number 1 wide receiver aside and goes, double move. I bet you he bites.
Could that happen? Sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
But hey,
He
he's
says
right.
that. He goes, "Look, I'm pretty good at this stuff."
Well, it depends
I
on
bet
who
you
the-
he bites.
Now,
Double move, touchdown.
could happen. Now, remember, there are a lot of coaches that let their quarterbacks go to the line of scrimmage and survey the defense and call the play.
Yeah.
In those top programs where the quarterback is that elite. So I don't know whether I'd be really willing to give him that kind of leeway.
Yeah, he might be more interested in taking chances than the average quarterback.
That's the point I'm making. Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, you know what? Nah, we're not going to hand this one
See-
off. I bet you that I can throw this one down.
The individual conversation is interesting, how you framed it, and for the Eagles, and we have people on the text line that want to talk about that. The bigger overall issue is the NCAA. Like, when we originally had this brought up, I was like, this is going to happen because there's the entirety of college sports right now is a gray area. They don't have enough legislation based on the new stuff that they put in, and that's why anything goes right now. And that changes the way every league evaluates talent coming out of college. It's not just football. Like, the NBA has dealt with it as well. This is a major, major issue, and whether this kid plays or not is not the overall important thing. It's the fact that this could happen right now with the structure of collegiate sports, and the way you evaluate these players has to change if you're a pro organization.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we'll see how it goes. What do we got on the text line?
All right, so we have people checking in on the Brendan Sorsby conversation. Sean says, 1,000% I'd be out on drafting this guy. The NCAA just told every college athlete that it's pretty much okay to gamble. I wonder if Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was Sorsby's partner.
By the way, he could be listening right now. He's right. He's only around 130 miles.
Ipe, we know it wasn't you. All right.
Ipe, thanks for listening on the app
We
every
appreciate
single
you.
day. We appreciate you.
Sell him out for Kyle Schwarber's MVP trophy.
You have supporters here on Kincade and Salciunas.
We appreciate
We know
you.
it wasn't you. What else
Use
we
that
got?
Bet Parks app. We appreciate you.
This texter checks in and says, not a chance in hell I draft this guy. He knew the consequences and still makes the wrong decision. He'll make many more poor decisions going forward.
I mean, this is
Absolutely.
crazy.
You cannot trust this guy. He cannot be trusted to lead. It's too important a position. You can't do it.
By the way, he's been suspended for only 2 games. Somebody, I just saw a tweet on social media. It's not really the best account to credit. If you guys know, if you're online enough, you know who the 3-year Letterman is.
Oh, you're kidding me.
But he finally made a point that was actually serious. Todd Gurley was suspended 4 games for selling his own autograph.
Yep.
4 games.
AJ Green got suspended for selling his jersey, if I'm not mistaken. I remember the story when it happened.
Well, that was a different time back then. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what has never been different?
Yeah, there was
Gambling on your team
Yeah,
has
there's
always
never.
led to suspension and not being able to play anymore, except for this kid.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, well, he did it
And
in
it's-
Indiana. So
And it's all too is, and again, the age of kid keeps going up too. That's part of the reason
Am I a
too.
kid still?
No,
To some, maybe.
We keep. You know, you're a kid to your dad and mom. You're their kid. You're not a kid to society. But we keep raising the age of kids.
He's just
and
young.
that's part of it. Oh, he's a kid.
He's just young.
And he
It's
made
all
it.
good.
The best is the SportsCenter goons last night. The young man made a mistake. Which one?
Yeah, I know.
Of the thousands of bets that he placed.
Well, if he was winning, they weren't mistakes.
Which exactly, that's the truth. And you know what? It's immediately what I thought of too. Well, wait a minute. That 3-team parlay that he did hit the one time.
That's not a mistake,
By the way, he taught you something. His betting history, because it's all public.
Okay.
His betting history tells you some things, and it's what the casinos know that you don't understand and that the people don't understand. You don't win your parlays. The guy who tells you that I hit my parlays all the time and everything. The casinos are built on the guys who are betting the parlays all the time. The casinos lose money on the people who make straight bets.
But you hit that one parlay,
That's
and
it.
baby.
The parlay,
You're
and then
covered for a while.
it pays for all the ones that you lose. Is that he was really
Talking
bad?
to me.
He was really bad with the parlays. When he bet straight bets, he was good.
Xavier checks in on the YouTube chat. No way in hell I'd touch that guy. It's a maturity problem. I wouldn't even have him on my board. Look, most college players, I would imagine, are immature. Most. They're like every once in a while, you get the Fernando Mendoza where it's like, wow, this guy is
Captain LinkedIn.
There's everything perfect about this guy, you know? Most college players are mature. This isn't immaturity, in my opinion. This is stupidity.
No, this is whoa. This is a duplicitous young man. This is a guy who is duplicitous. He's sitting there listening to the speech that they get every year about no gambling.
Yeah.
And they're told.
Well,
you
he
can't
wasn't
do this.
listening.
And he's
was
in
on
the
his
room.
FanDuel
He's on
Sportsbook app.
He's on the Sportsbook app, placing his wagers. This is a duplicitous guy trying to cheat the system. He's not some guy that it's like, well, you have to go watch some of the SportsCenter stuff from yesterday. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious, the excuse making.
Well, there's some people excusing it. There's a lot of people that aren't, and we'll see if college football plays Texas Tech this year. I'm not saying if Texas Tech plays football, if college football plays against them. They're saying, nah, we don't want this. And top programs are saying no. And, oh, by the way, he's going to be considered a top prospect. If he was on, let's say the Eagles needed a quarterback, would you even have him on your big board?
Howie wouldn't.
I know he.
Howie would not.
He wouldn't have him.
He is not bringing that into that building. He's not doing that. He's not doing that.
More reaction to this as the show goes on. Are the Phillies really one of the best teams in baseball? Top 5?
Yes.
According to Fox Sports? We'll get more reaction on that, and then it's today's headlines with Connor Thomas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Get yourself a Bradford White water heater if you want dependable water every time you need it, that hot water to have that relaxing shower, to be able to run the dishwasher, to be able to do your laundry. You got to love the dependability, the comfortable and content nature you're going to have when you know it's there whenever you need it, when you've got a Bradford White water heater on the job for you. They are reliable. They're going to give you top performance year after year. They're built to be the best with the finest components from around the world. And if your current water heater just isn't getting the job done, don't put up with it. Ask your plumbing professional about a Bradford White water heater model. You're not going to find one at the big box store. So you're not rolling out on Saturday morning and saying, I'm going to replace the water heater today, honey. No, a plumbing professional will bring the Bradford White right to your home. They know the perfect model for you. Talk to them. They'll tell you what size you need. They bring it to your house. Even the new Infinity tankless or Aerotherm hybrid heat pump models that can really save you Mac Daddy cash. To learn more, find a pro near you, visit BradfordWhite.com because how you heat your water matters. Choose my friends at Bradford White.
Bill Colarulo.
Opposing batters.
Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 7:47 here on Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Real quick question. Before we get some more reaction on the Sorsby thing or Sixers or Phillies, wherever people are on the text line. Then we have
I have a question,
headlines.
too, about one of our own real quick.
Do you guys like Bruno Mars?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Me too.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like Bruno Mars?
My wife.
Why?
And not just doesn't like him.
Like a visceral?
We're driving in the car the other day, and it's been on my mind for it was this weekend. Today's Tuesday, right? So this is how long it's been on my mind since like Saturday. And I hate him. He's so annoying.
Dude, my sister-in-law banned from ever playing it.
Why?
I don't know.
He doesn't have to be your favorite, but disdain. And she's not saying
we have to figure out what
she's
that's
not saying
about.
the person. She's talking about his music.
All right, find out what it is.
Well,
what
I
it
just
is.
texted her.
Okay.
Okay, she got back to me. I said, I can't tell you how many times I've thought about it since you said it. I still can't believe your disdain for Bruno Mars.
Okay.
And she responded with, literally makes my blood boil. Same with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't like
JT.
I guess she's not a pop.
Timberlake's awesome.
He did the halftime show of the Eagles' first Super Bowl victory. He's a god to me.
Timberlake is awesome.
I don't know. I don't understand the disdain.
I don't understand it either. I also don't understand our own Bill Colarulo.
What's wrong? Oh, well,
Bill Colarulo.
Don't even get me started.
Bill Colarulo yesterday is going off on the fact that he does not like the fact that a player negotiates a no-trade clause and then picks where they can be traded to.
That's the point of negotiations.
Yes, I don't understand.
As a lawyer, you would think.
That's what was bad. Dylan Larkin of the Red Wings doesn't want to come to the Flyers.
Yeah, he has what, 3 teams?
He has 3 teams: Florida, Vegas, and Minnesota. He's got ties to Minnesota personally. He's thinking Vegas or Florida.
In the Cup and was in the Cup.
By the way, great weather.
Yeah.
Championship contenders.
Taxes.
0 tax dollars. 0 state taxes.
Yeah, that's the big one.
And he's picking the teams they can trade him to. He's saying, trade me. And if you're going to trade me, you're going to trade me to one of these 3 teams because it's in my contract that I have it. And Bill's going off about it. And I'm like, why do you hate the fact that players have clout? I love it. I love it that a player dictates. A team does not have to give you that power.
I'm going to guess he's just offended that he didn't pick the Flyers.
Well, guess I understand why.
I saw yesterday on Twitter a lot of
Flyers aren't ready to win the Cup. Flyers are not ready to win the Cup. And the Flyers, by the way, we have a miserably overtaxed state. We don't have the climate of Vegas or Florida.
Yeah.
We have to have a great team to have them drawn here. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. It'll be there. But Dylan Larkin's not it. But more importantly, negotiate it. Go for it.
Yeah,
I applaud the guys who negotiate.
Surprised he's that upset by it.
Come on, Bill.
All right, what do we got on the text line? Then we'll do today's headlines.
All right, so we have a check-in on our Phillies conversation from earlier. Mike in Levittown says there's nothing wrong with having the Phillies at 5 right now. Power rankings are based on how they're playing and where they're at right now. It doesn't matter that they struggled at the beginning of the season. Connor is right.
That would be like saying if the A's, or let's just say a really terrible team, went 7-0 last week, you'd go, oh, I put them in the top 5 of the power rankings. But they're at the bottom of the league. No, but right now they're playing great.
All the Phillies are at the bottom of the league. They have the 7th best record somehow.
Yes.
Somehow 7th best record in baseball, which is a credit to them.
No, it is a credit to them.
I don't look at them as, top 5 team because I know how this season is played on.
That's because you've actually watched the games.
All right, it's time now for today's headlines with Connor Thomas.
Today's headlines with the Connor Thomas.
It's brought to us by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com. That's LundyLaw.com. Bruno Mars might have to call them. My sister-in-law checks in just to follow up. It's just his voice can't really quite pinpoint it, but he annoys me every time he comes on the radio.
Wow.
That's so weird.
Ask her about Timberlake.
Like Bruno Mars.
Ask her about Timberlake.
Oh, yeah, that's a
we
good
will follow up. But Sam Presti was asked about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They had their end-of-year media availability. What in the world is he trying to say here?
Relative to Shea and the narrative on that, he's playing against 6 people. He's got 5 defenders, and the 6th defender is social media. And, that's a reality. And he's not going to be the last player that the machine decides to target.
What in the world are you talking about, dude?
Shea, who is universally loved.
No, he's not.
It's the flopping
No,
thing.
no.
Oh,
no,
he's
no.
hated.
I'm talking about his own fan base.
Yeah,
They
no.
adore
But
him.
nationally, he's hated because of the flopping and the.
Yeah,
and
well,
the,
guess
and the
what?
foul
Though?
baiting.
Stop flopping then. Stop flopping. LeBron got attacked for flopping. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I just what is this guy
Playing against 6 people because of social media?
I mean, enough. Put your phone down.
Right.
Put your phone down.
Is Shea active on social media? Because I don't follow the
Calls are against him because he's called for
that
people
could
bring
be.
up flopping all the time.
That could be. That could be.
But I don't think the 2-time MVP back-to-back is playing against 6 people.
Yeah. By the way,
There you
he hasn't tweeted since 2024. I don't know about Instagram, but it doesn't seem like he's that active.
No.
So
No, not
I'd
at
say
all.
he's playing against 5 people, and one of those just happened to be a giant Frenchman who was a little bit better.
That might have been the 6 people.
Yeah,
'Cause
Wemby counts as 2.
Yeah, Wemby counts as 2 people. That's the 6 that he played against.
Speaking of counting 2, I'm going to get in trouble for that transition. Charles Barkley was.
I love it. This is hilarious.
was talking. They were doing the in-game commentary while Cardi B was doing a show during the NBA Finals. And here's Charles. I'll just let him say it.
We've been competing with Cardi B here. We lost. Hey, I don't know if those B's, that might be Cardi D's.
You guys can comment.
Well, he called them Cardi D's because I'm guessing he's giving some women a grade, which is very inappropriate, as a letter.
A grade or a size?
A D.
I think it was a size.
Oh, maybe that's what he was
No,
doing.
they was. You didn't see the shot. Yeah.
I know that he has been very vocal about his lack of interest
Did
in
you see
the
the
women
San
of San
Antonio
Antonio.
women?
I did not. No.
Oh, you didn't see? Wait a minute. You didn't see them at the first 2 games? They were there. Where Barkley says we don't exist.
Okay, I did see those.
And they were the
yes.
very attractive women of San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
And the San Antonio sports radio station got these women together and said, we need the hottest women of San Antonio that are going to all wear these shirts to show Barkley we have hot women in San Antonio.
all right.
Now, it was a very hard search.
I think
if you've ever been to San Antonio, it was a hard search.
Yeah.
But they did find them.
And respectfully, I believe Charles is accurate with his.
Yeah, I don't think he was grading. I think he was.
That was the size.
See, I missed this. Okay.
Yeah, you had to see it.
So, Charles, do your thing, man. We'll round out with this. Interesting for the A's. So, did you guys see where the Athletics played last night?
Yes, and Johnny and I were talking about it off the air.
I know where it is. I know where the stadium is. It's bad. That's bad.
They played in the Las Vegas series, their first time playing there, and here's how the game started.
First pitch, high drive to left. It's a Vegas bomb to tie the game in the first.
Talk about cashing in quickly.
Now, you're going to get all of the Vegas-type terminology from the broadcast. Funny enough, that was via NBC Sports California, which Vegas is in Nevada. But it turned into a wild game, a 15-14 final where the Brewers won in 12 innings. And if that's what Vegas baseball is going to be, it's going to be interesting.
Well, it's going to be temporary.
Yeah, the stadium will be different. So that's like a minor league ballpark.
And it's
which is the longest home run of the 2026 season. So the bottom of the first inning, you already have the longest home run. First inning ever in this ballpark. The over-under in today's game is set at 12.5. The over is the favorite.
You can go watch.
I kind of love it.
By the way, too, is I saw people on social media last night, some of our locals too, going, "This is sophomoric. This stadium." You can go watch the stadium be under construction on the Strip. You can go watch it. There's a live webcam. You can see it of the A's stadium. It's on the corner, right next to MGM Grand.
Okay.
Right across from Excalibur, diagonal to New York. And there'll be a real stadium. It's not the stadium that the A's are going to play in when they move to Las Vegas.
Bet the overs. Is this where are they playing the rest of the season?
No, it's just a specific series.
It's a specific
They're still
series.
playing in Sacramento.
They're just saying, hey, this is it's a ticket sales thing.
All right. Well, then that's a good thing because numbers would change drastically.
Yes.
For every
A's
A's
top
player
5 team
at
in
home.
that stadium.
All right, coming up next, Amy Fedor. It's Tuesday with Amy. She'll be in studio with us for the rest of the show. And we'll get her thoughts on the Sixers press conference. And also, would Brendan Sorsby be on her big board? If the Eagles needed a quarterback, we're not doing the show that they need one. If Brendan Sorsby, the player that got pinched for gambling multiple times and was allowed to still play this year for Texas Tech, would you draft him? Because he's considered a top prospect. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Oh, boy, guys, you got to get ready. The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every single match from the opening stage all the way to the final, including the matches right here in the great city of brotherly love. Phillies, Sunday. Ivory Coast is taking on Ecuador. Now, Ivory Coast, the underdog, they're trading at a 27% probability to beat Ecuador. That means a $100 trade pays out $352 if they win. You can also trade on who wins the entire tournament. There's a lot of great action there. And on Kalshi, the best part is you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code Fanatic to get $10 when you trade 10. It's Kalshi, Kalshi, where you can trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Aggressive and creative. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday. He's going to be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philly and maximize what the Sixers can get. He talked about being creative and aggressive.
We're going to adapt. I know my philosophy is we're going to look at everything. We've got a great staff here that's going to get creative. We're going to be aggressive, and we're going to turn over every stone and try to get the best players in here and make some moves that are going to help us win.
First up on the to-do list for him is preparing for the NBA draft. Just 2 weeks away, the Sixers have picked number 22 overall. The Phillies took game one for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night. Christopher Sanchez, another strong start. 7 innings, struck out 10, allowed only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia also went yard for the third time in 5 games. So a good win for the Phils. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Dylan Cease. Eagles start mandatory minicamp today. Their first full team workouts of the offseason. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media at 12:30. And the Spurs took down the Knicks 115-111 in Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night. It is now 2-1, still in favor of New York. Amy Fadul joins us coming up next. She'll be with us for the rest of the show. Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cavaliers, joins us to talk Mike Gansey from the Cleveland perspective. This update is brought to you by our friends over at the Share a Ride Match program. Whether you're visiting Greater Philadelphia for their summer festivities or you live or work in their region, there's a better way to get around. Try transit or carpooling instead of driving alone. PACarpool.org. I'm Connor Thomas for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now more of Kincade and Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
I just got a JC Tunis on YouTube chat.
no.
What'd I say? What'd I say that got JC?
What?
How'd I get JC'd? What'd I say?
What happened? You didn't say JC.
No,
I
he's
didn't
saying
say
someone
JC.
said yes.
Somebody said JC Tunis. Our man, the Fit Dad, chimes in. I don't know what I said.
Did you have a take that warranted that?
No, we
I
were just
didn't hear one that was.
we were just going to break. So,
Well,
Amy Fadul's here. Good morning,
Good
Amy.
morning, everyone.
How are you? Amy, we're going to talk about the Brendan Sorsby thing coming up a little bit. Maybe that was misunderstood because, no, I'm not trying to draft a quarterback to replace Jalen Hurts.
Right.
But, man, is this a huge conversation in the world of sports. Can't wait to get your thoughts on it. But let's start with Mike Gansey, the new president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. We have some clips that we'll play because he obviously spoke about the big questions that were being asked of him, which is about the big man and the big contracts, because you also have Paul George.
Here we go.
So we know this entire summer and fall what that's going to be about, early fall. But what did you make of Mike Gansey, your first takeaways with him?
Yeah, I mean, very polished, very focused. I thought he was a guy that knew the situation he was walking into and didn't have – I feel like sometimes, and maybe not in that level of role, but sometimes you have these press conferences and they seem to be like, oh – I'm not prepared for the answers. And I mean that and to say that he was obviously very prepared, but he knows that he's got a tall task ahead of him. It was very GM speak, which I appreciate. Like, I know you're going to have that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. It's day one. I don't think he's going to have all the answers.
He loves the city. He loves the organization.
Yeah.
His son has a Tyrese Maxey jersey.
The guy is literally a Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
he didn't hide that, which I do love. Like, he was
Me
very
too.
honest.
Tell us who you are.
He's like, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan.
He's,
Tell us who you are.
born and raised in Cleveland.
Correct.
And he married someone from Cleveland, and his entire family has lived in Cleveland, and he is from Cleveland. He's lived there in Cleveland. So I appreciated that. Like, I like the transparency on certain things. I don't mind that he didn't have every single answer on day one. I know that was, I just saw on social media and some of my replies, and people are like, well, what's he going to do? I'm like, it's okay. First of all, if you're in a position to bargain, you don't want to lay all your chips out there. You want to let it be known. But it was day one. I think that's a conversation to have in a couple of weeks. I thought it was really interesting that he recognized, and I talked to him after the media scrums, he recognized the importance of having somebody from Philadelphia, like, on your staff, on your side.
Yeah.
He was very impressed with Jameer when he was going through the process. He specifically requested that, is there a way that we can keep this guy around? What is his role? What can I do with him?
And by the way, I'm happy about that. I did not want him to get this job. Jameer Nelson, the president of basketball operations.
And I don't know that Jameer wanted this.
But he seems like a rising star.
With Jameer, when talking with him afterwards, it was interesting because he said he never envisioned being a front office guy. He always envisioned being a coach.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that this journey he's been on for the last 5+ years is all new to him, and he feel like he's learning every day. But I thought it was interesting, or very telling, that because that was something I think I talked with you guys about, right after Morey was fired, that what I would look for is a younger executive who was with a winning franchise that knew the East and that knew Philadelphia. I always thought those were really important things, and Bob Myers said that was something really important. I don't think that's earth-shattering to know. If you're working in Philadelphia, you need to know Philadelphia. And I mean that as you can go work in Oklahoma City and you can be the best basketball guy ever. I don't care if you know anything about Oklahoma City.
Right.
I don't think that the Oklahoma City people care. Philadelphia, it matters. You need to know how this town works, and I think that's really important. I thought it was really telling that he said that was basically a sticking point. Like, I need to have this guy. What can we do with him? How can we get him here? How can we keep him here? And so I thought that was interesting. And yeah, I mean, he my favorite, I was telling the guys in back like Austin, I was telling them my favorite non-answer was about James Harden. Sealski asked the question. I'm not sure why.
And look, I credit Mike for asking it. I think the question is, wait, the guy that just traded for James Harden again,
it was kind
is
of
the
like
new guy here?
Trying to find out what was your philosophy behind it. And then if you could extrapolate, that's just my guess, extrapolate something about your philosophy on how you're going to operate here.
Right.
That's probably the question. But it was great. It was someone that was like, listen, we needed some help. That gentleman was offered. He helped us, and he plays basketball. It was, and then I think he just ended it with, okay, or that's it, or something like that. And I was like, that's perfect.
They did get to the conference finals.
I wanted you
Listen, he got them better than they had done before.
Better than they did before. We didn't like that move when it was made. And I said to you, why? And then Andrew explained it to me. I'm like, man, you do. We think Cleveland was better before that.
I said from a Sixer standpoint. From a Sixer standpoint, it would have slowed down the pace of play, which would have benefited the Sixers.
I think it could have benefited them this year.
Whereas the Mitchell Garland was go, go, go. And with Joel Embiid, you can't really do that.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I didn't mind the fit. I understood why Cleveland did it. They needed extra points. They needed buckets. Some of their guys had been banged up. They needed a guy that can guarantee and get them a 20 every night. James Harden can do that.
And facilitate as long as he doesn't turn the ball over 7 times.
I don't need the guy to have all the answers.
Yeah.
But honestly, I left there yesterday knowing nothing more about what his plan is or what his ambitions are than I knew going in.
Really?
Nah, I felt like it was very AI, like it was not Allen Iverson. I thought it was very generic. And when I heard twice build around the 4, my body sagged.
Yeah,
I went.
The question was asked in a way that had to be the answer. Because
are you going to trade Joel Embiid?
So, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm sitting there in the press conference. We carried it live. Shout out NBC Sports Philadelphia. And it was the first question on it was basically like, what do you do with these contracts? And as a general manager, president of basketball operations, whatever the title is for the role, you have to be like, all right, well, here's who I have in my contract. This is who I have. I can't talk about anything else other than that. That was another thing. Like I saw people like, why can't he name names? I'm like, that is not how this
That's
works.
not how it works.
You can't. We remembered when Joel Embiid was naming PJ Tucker. Like, this is not a good idea. You can't name names when guys are under contract. So I understood some parts of it, but I think the answer was, because I asked him that, later too, like about that, and he was just like, we have these 4 guys under contract. This is what we're operating with. It doesn't mean that they're going to remain under contract. And I think that was, I don't want to infer that. That's obviously me projecting, thinking like, because my question was, how do you build around this team when you have 4 major contracts or 3 major contracts? You have 3 major contracts. You have 3 max guys. And he was like, well, you have to, win on the margins. You have all this other stuff. But he's never going to come right out and say, well, you have to trade one of them, Amy. That's what you have to do. So I think that his philosophy, maybe I hear you, John, didn't come through because he's probably still waiting, WADING, wading through these waters of, instead of like waiting,
sure,
of trying to figure out, what the heck am I going to do? Like, I don't know. He was asked it basically 3 different times in 3 different ways.
So
and you're right. He did say like, oh, I have these 4. Like he does. That
Let's
is a
play
fact.
one of the clips, and then I want to get your read on it because me, John, and Connor all talked this morning about, all right, what was the read that you got? Is it, are they running it back? Are they going to try to move one of the guys? This was Mike Gansey with the press conference. He did a great interview with Middays with Marks yesterday. But this was from the press conference where he was talking about maximizing the 4.
I don't look at it as a timeline. I just look at like we have those 4 and we got to maximize those 4. Obviously VJ and Tyrese are younger, but Paul and Joel can still play at a high level. I mean, we were 24 and 14 when Joel played, and obviously in the playoffs coming back from Boston, like we got to rely on those 4 and obviously keep them on the floor and then just build around them.
So, did you have a feel as the press conference was going on, after the press conference ended? Our poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health, where the poll is strong for 4 hours every single morning. We were talking about the direction of the Sixers and whether or not you feel better, worse, or if they're stuck. And still, sorry, Connor, the majority are saying they're stuck. That's what I voted, but if I could have added, it would have said they're stuck, ... for now.
Right.
I think he would try to trade Embiid if he could. That's what my takeaway was.
Did it sound that way?
I think that I don't know Embiid per se. I don't think that I got an overarching.
Fine, Embiid, George, one of those 2 guys.
I did get an overarching sense of like, we need to really work on this roster.
Yes.
And to do that, we might have to make decisions. I don't know that I took away from it. It's hard because you go in with your own, bias. You go in with your own thoughts and thinking like, I want him to say this, so I can justify whatever I'm thinking, which is completely normal. Everybody has how you enter conversations with other humans, much less a guy that you actually want answers from as a fan base and as media. So you go in there thinking, I need to hear this, and if I don't feel good. I have to kind of step back and I look at the whole, because you walk away from it and you feel one thing, and then you look at the transcript. You just read it as if it's the Yellow Pages or whatever. For those of people who don't know what that is, it's a book. that you used to look up businesses in.
Yes.
And so I try to look at it in that way and like, all right, just a regular old person reading this. Do I take anything away from it? And I did take away that he knows that there's not a lot of wiggle room because he did mention like certain players. You got to find guys who are like a $4 million guy and see if he can turn into somebody. That lets me know that he is fully aware that he's going to have to move off one of these if he wants to make a big splash. If he wants to, if he can.
And John Marks made a great point yesterday. We might be saying they got to make change, because we've been living it. Mike Gansey's been here for 5 minutes. He goes, well, I probably was told I got 2 to 3 years to try to fix this. He's not fixing it today.
See that? Yeah,
and that sucks.
It sucks
because you might have to live another season of it.
I didn't say. Can I? And I know that it's just listening. He didn't strike me as a man of urgency. But it might just be his tone.
Yeah,
it may just be his tone. It may just be his. It may be his mannerism.
Yeah, you know what that is. That's a good question because I didn't take away that he was in any kind of hurry or the opposite either. I just kind of took away it as just vanilla.
Maybe he knows that the NBA Finals are still going on. He's like, I can't do anything right now anyway.
And by the way, a hurry may be exactly what, in the long run, I don't want him to do.
Right.
But
you don't want to like band-aid it up. Yeah.
But yesterday, I was sort of looking for the hurry.
I think that, and that's where, when we're working from this, we're working as a fan base, as you pointed out. Like, we're working from a fan base. We've been mired in this.
Oh, yeah.
We've been mired in it. I asked Mike Gansey afterwards, like, hey, fast forward a year from now, what's success to you? Like, what is success? And he was like, it's not just the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. We know what it is. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, friend.
I appreciate him saying that they're not close. He said, we got something in the second round.
He's like, that's harsh, but we're not close. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I needed here. So that's where I think when you say like, it's no sense of urgency, when you hear something like that, you're like, oh, does he like think we can't get there? I think first you have to recognize the problem and then you have to go about addressing it. Him being honest and saying, we're not close. This team, it looked like it. You had 21 games of Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George in an 82-game season. You're 3 guys, the only team that has 40 million plus tied up, right, in 3 different players. And they won. They played 21 games together. I thought he was really telling when he was talking about the success that they saw with Joel Embiid. He said, it started out early, that, it was some bumps in the road. And then they had a winning record with Joel Embiid that lets you everything you need to know.
But then he can't play for a 7-game series without getting hurt.
Dan Gelston from the AP was just like, you cannot rely on this guy.
Yeah.
What do you do? He's just like,
we got to come up with a plan.
Right.
And I've heard that from 12
and it's
different
like,
people
and that's for like as a Philadelphia fan base, I think he recognizes that. But again, he's not going to have answers on day one. But we're all sitting there going like, dude, I can't hear that again.
No.
But he doesn't know that because he just got here.
He's been here for 5 minutes.
So we got to ask him that again in a month.
By the way,
then he'll realize we need
something that just struck me. I'm very concerned about. Extremely. By the way, I was JCB.
The amount of hair product that's going to go in that front office.
I was JC because I missed the Charles Barkley thing. I thought he was, I thought he was
the whole about
this. So my bad.
Yeah, about this.
Cleveland Browns fan. Daryl Morey was a Cleveland Browns fan.
I was going to bring that up earlier.
That's back-to-back Pobos that are Cleveland Browns fans. You know how we always say, I wouldn't hire that guy. He played for the Browns. Coach for the Browns.
Bill Belichick, coach for the Browns.
Yeah. But are fans bad, too?
LeBron James is a Browns fan. Isn't
no, he changes his mind every other.
Cowboys fan.
He changes his mind. And whoever's winning.
Cowboys, Rams.
The Guardians, at the time Indians were in the World Series, and all of a sudden he's wearing a Cleveland hat.
He's a Cowboys fan.
Then he's never been a Browns fan. Though.
No.
Yeah, so he's
smart. I don't blame him for that.
All right.
Did you know that Gansey was second to him in Mr. Basketball voting?
No way, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine?
That's fantastic.
And his mom didn't get the a Hummer when he was in high school as the gift, the car gift.
How do you know?
I don't think Mrs.
The guy
got one.
He was an All-American.
Yeah, I don't think
maybe
she got
the.
I don't know.
No,
maybe
I think
she
Sports Illustrated would have found.
Maybe
it.
she got a Camry.
I don't think Sports Illustrated was doing a lot of Mike Gansey work.
That's what I'm
guys are
saying.
Sleeping on Gansey. He was like a Player of the Year nominee.
Well, he's now the president of basketball operations for the Sixers. Amy.
Yes,
Other
sir.
topic that we're getting into today. We'll talk more Phillies as the show goes on. We have you till 10
Sanchez,
o'clock.
really good.
Very good. No, he sucks now because he's giving up
That's
runs.
right. Sorry.
How dare he? The news that took the world by storm from sports standpoint yesterday, Brendan Sorsby.
It was great. So we were all over there at Camden, and everybody's just passing. Did you see that? This is like we're in middle of Sixer land, and everybody's passing the news around that.
So if you're
I
just
don't
tuning
understand.
in, Brennan Sorsby, quarterback of Texas Tech, originally Cincinnati, originally Indiana. Those 2 stops before Texas Tech, he was also gambling on those 2 teams. He was a quarterback with Indiana. He was betting on Indiana. He was a quarterback at Cincinnati. He was betting on Cincinnati. He gets caught. He's at Texas Tech. And the judge of Lubbock County, Texas, which is the home of Texas Tech, says, nah, he's good. He can play.
Fine.
And so Brendan Sorsby will be the quarterback for Texas Tech this year, except for the first 2 games because he's suspended for the first 2 games of the season when they play the School of the Blind and the School of the Poor.
Yeah, because the 2-game suspension is definitely he learned his lesson.
Yeah, Texas
What
Tech
school?
The School of the Blind and the School of the Poor.
Okay,
Cincinnati will win, or Texas Tech will win 60-0 in both those games, regardless of who the quarterback is. Sorsby
School of the Blind's looking good this year, though.
is considered
They won that
a
wing
top
team.
prospect. One draft analyst said
Can you
that.
imagine drafting this guy?
Well, so that's our question. All right, Rob Rang, NFL draft analyst, said if he was in this past draft without everything that went on, he actually could have rivaled Mendoza to be the number 1 overall pick. He compares him to a comp between Baker Mayfield and Jackson Dart, 2 very good quarterbacks in the NFL. If the Eagles needed a quarterback, we're not doing the they should draft a quarterback show. If they needed a quarterback, let's just in make-believe land, they needed a quarterback. Would this guy even be considered for you?
No. What kind of franchise would...
There's franchises.
Well, yes, the Browns called and said, sure, come on over. We got all kinds of stuff
I saw
here.
people guessing on YouTube. Somebody said
where-
Pittsburgh.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Be perfect. 'cause
Well, they
obviously
already
be
got
right
Mendoza.
there. Well, they don't need... But this guy, that's right in his wheelhouse. He has all the sports books right there.
That's true.
I wouldn't touch this guy with a 10-foot pole if I was in charge of a franchise.
But you know that people look away from stuff all the time.
This is a tough one to look at. Like, how do you look away
How
from
do you look
this?
away from domestic
He
violence?
could destroy-
I don't look away from any of those
Teams
things.
do it.
No,
Teams
but he
look
could
away from
destroy-
domestic violence. I got Myles Garrett was pulled over 17 times.
Because domestic violence can't isn't going to tear potentially. You could get your team. It affects every guy in the locker room. The domestic violence thing is speaking to your character, your personal life, takes you off the field. The gambling on your team can affect the entire team. There's a difference.
Well, and somebody said on Twitter earlier,
Both
Quentin,
I would be
Quentin
interested-
Birchfield, which is a great name, he chimes in earlier going, what if he owes guys money?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember having $90,000 as a college student. I get
could
NIL deals and everything.
You could never look at a result that he was a part of.
Ever.
Or a throw that he made, or a missed throw, or a botched handoff. To me, it would be in the back of my mind every single time the ball snapped.
Look at what we're doing with
would be
Terry Rozier. We're finding every
Oh, it's my
turnover.
favorite.
Like
Chauncey,
every
too.
turn. Look at this turnover 7 years ago. Do you think he had money on it?
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I am shocked, and
I
I'm
don't
not
know
saying,
that this is going to hold up.
I'm not saying it happened. I'm not. So repeat. I'm not saying this happened, but I'm shocked it was never brought up. That I was shocked that people didn't try to spin that into, well, AJ was quitting on routes. In today's day and age,
I'm sure
people
somebody-
believe in all kinds of conspiracies.
I'm sure somebody did.
We
Well,
got
yeah,
those texts.
Oh,
We did. Oh,
we?
you did?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
No,
sure
I
we did.
See, Connor, you have to deal with you go through it.
Yeah.
You have to sift through the laundry bin.
I see every take there is out there.
Well, nowadays, because of their...
You have half
that's
of
been
them,
out
though,
there.
Connor.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
good ones.
Yeah, I don't know that this injunction's going to hold up.
I don't think it's going to hold up either.
I hope not, because this sets a
I just would
horrible
imagine.
precedent.
I just can't imagine. Again, it was mind blowing to me. There is the all-time hits leader in Major League Baseball that's not in the Hall of Fame because of this very thing. This is not a gray area. This is very black and white. The precedent has been
Why are you
set.
looking at me with the gray?
Sorry, friend. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, when it came out, it was so stunning. I'm telling you, we were all just standing around waiting for the next press conference, and we all stared. Like, is this happening? This is not real.
Yeah.
That's not real.
Well-
I had to double check. I was like, that's not real. That's
Because
fake.
the judge said, you are hereby eligible to play.
He said, go.
And go Raiders.
Go Red Raiders.
Go Red. That's what he said when he hit the gavel. What's it
Gavel.
called?
Yeah,
Gavel.
that's gavel.
Great work by you.
He was like,
Well done.
go Red Raiders. Go Red Raiders.
It's wild to me.
Oh, it's horrible.
I cannot imagine a franchise in the NFL. I think Goodell would not allow that.
Hey,
to happen.
Cowboys might be looking for a quarterback soon.
Why?
Come on, he screams Cowboys.
No, it's
No, they got a
No.
much better quarterback than that.
I know.
He's the idea. Of
just. You'd have to go somewhere like
Did
you
you
could
see him go to
hide him.
Dallas? Jared's like, that's all right. I bet too. All right, coming up next.
I gamble every day.
Amy Fadul of NBC Sports Philadelphia here. I read an article on said website, Amy. It made my brain think.
Your brain think?
Maybe, just maybe, this time we won't have the every other year issue with the Eagles. It's Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Oh, let's talk about that family jewelers. I love them. I mean, that's probably why I'm married. Because if I gave a bad engagement ring, I think Christy would have said no. But I knew that when I went to Family Company Jewelers, I would not be getting a bad engagement ring. I knew that I would not be getting a good wedding band for her and I. That first anniversary gift was special. That first Mother's Day gift was extremely special. Needed to knock that one out of the park. Well, you know what? As important as Mother's Day is, and I would say it's even more, hey, us dads matter too. Father's Day is right around the corner. And I should tell my wife, while you're listening to Bruno Mars and hating him for whatever reason, drive over to Family Company Jewelers and buy me something special. Family Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey has a great selection of Father's Day gifts. Check out their collection of hand-forged pocket knives from William Henry, chains and bracelets from designers Philip Gabrielle and Samuel B., and, of course, watches from brands like Movado and Citizens. Ditch the ties, ditch the gift cards, unless you want to give him a gift card to Family Company Jewelers. Get him something different, something that he can show off to all of his buddies with the top 5-star ratings on Google, and I am one of them, actually numerous times. You know that you could trust Family Company Jewelers with Father's Day gifts this year. If you can't make it to the store, always check them out online, familyjewelers.com. The website shows you everything, every price point, every selection that you can make. But trust me, go to the showroom because they are wonderful people and they will help you every step of the way. Family Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Mike Gansey meets the press. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday. He's going to be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philadelphia. And he talks about the team being talented, but not necessarily championship caliber right now.
You know, they got swept in the second round, so it's not a championship caliber team right now, but we're going to work on that. Obviously, getting the big four together on the floor, and we're going to do everything we can to get the best players in here to help us get to the mountaintop.
Now, the first piece of business for him will be preparing for the NBA draft. We're just 2 weeks away from it. The Sixers have the number 22 overall pick in that draft. The Phillies took game one for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night. Christopher Sanchez, another strong start for him. He struck out 10 over 7 innings of work, allowed only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia also went yard for the third time in 5 games. He's showing some signs of a power surge. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Dylan Cease. The Eagles start mandatory minicamp today, their first full team workouts of the offseason. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media at 12:30. And the Spurs took down the Knicks 115-111 to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals last night. Amy Fadul is with us for the remainder of the show. Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cleveland Cavaliers, talks a little Mike Gansey from that perspective at 9:05 with us. This update is brought to you by the Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, develops better athletes and better people through sports. Info at positivecoach.org. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and The Fanatic.
Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic.
8:32 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5, The Fanatic. It is a Tuesday with Amy Fadul in studio with us. Check the Davis on a text line coming up here in a moment. We'll also get to a phone call that I really want to get to it because we just need to get all the records straight here when it comes to this gambling discussion with Brendan Sorsby. But real quick, so I read an article on NBC Sports Philadelphia this morning from the great Dave Zangaro, who you always tell we steal his content, but I always
tell him and I thank him for it.
Yes, he always gives us a couple segments to talk every single day. He wrote an article on Josh Grizzard.
Yes.
The new quarterbacks coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, who did apply for the OC job, did not get it. And one of the questions that Dave asked him was, well, why would you still take this job? You got not passed over because you weren't a part of the organization, but you were not hired for what you originally applied for. And then the guy that got the job that you applied for, you said, yeah, sure, I'll be a part of your staff. And so they talked about learning with Sean. And by the way, Grizzard's 35. Like, it's not like he's 50 and some young pup.
Been in the coaching ranks for 15 years or something.
Right. Like, was last year his only year as the OC?
It was his only year.
Yeah, so
it says.
All right. And maybe he's going, all right, let me learn a little bit. So it made me think. If Mannion does well, we know what's going to happen. He'll probably get hired somewhere else.
Or,
well, if they win a playoff game, they won't do that.
That's the truth.
But if Mannion does well and the Eagles have success in the playoffs and Nick Sirianni is still the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, which is what you're getting at.
Right.
And Mannion leaves, not bad to have Grizzard on your staff right now.
Not at all.
Guy that has play calling experience. By the way, last year wasn't his fault. Mike Evans was hurt every other game. Chris Godwin was hurt most of the season. Bucky Irving disappeared.
And honestly, I mean, they still were able to put up points. I think that you would look at everything that they did and think, oh, that's not actually the worst job
I was kind of shocked when he got fired.
No,
I was like, what did he do?
He didn't do that bad.
What did he do wrong? Mecca Igbukah, I know that everybody was excited about him, but
I think somebody
right away
it's one of those
incredible.
cases of like someone has to take the fall for not living up to expectations because they really thought they were going to challenge for the NFC.
Yeah, and we all thought that Bowles was actually going to get fired, and he was like, nah, I'm still here. Which
Good Temple Al didn't get fired.
Means you fire other people.
So
it's funny you mentioned that because I would talk to Dave on, I think I did Birds Huddle with him the day after they hired Grizzard, or maybe the day of, can't remember. It was right around that same time. And he brought that same point up. Like, the Eagles have had these OCs, DCs, whatever, taken from them because they've had success. And they've not had a backup plan. You can see for every year that they had a good one, they had the backup plan of like, hey, I'll just take this guy in-house, and he's never done this before, but he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Brian Johnson, Kevin Patullo. And they were not fine.
Right, they were not.
Yes. So I think it was an interesting move. One, I think they recognized that they really like Grizzard and see what he was able to do down in Tampa Bay and in other stops, in other roles that he's had before that, not an OC, but obviously in a different offensive coaching roles that he's had. I think it's important to recognize that talent. I think it's something that's key. If you're building a team, building a coaching staff, you obviously have to recognize that not necessarily like a hierarchy of, all right, well, if I'm gone, this guy's there. But certainly this guy is a fully capable person to run the offense in case I'm gone or in case we need it or in case I can rely on him because I see him as an offensive coordinator as well.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have that kind of collective kind of group think or whatever.
And you mentioned that he's done it before. Like Patullo, well, he's been here. Like, remember Sirianni? He's been here. He's been talking to the guys.
The two hires were like, well, he's here. The word was just like, oh, he's been here. Okay, great.
That means squat.
So it was just like a person roaming around here at one ballot, like, oh, you've been here before. Come on in. You can host a show. That's not how that works.
No.
That's how Salciunas got a job.
That's how people think they can do it.
They think they just keep showing up. Like, yeah, you actually have to have some ideas.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Jack in Wilmington. This is going to be an interesting call. What's up, Jack?
What's up, Jack?
Hello. How's everyone doing this morning?
Good, Jack.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I usually listen on my way into work, and I've been wanting to call in and talk about Keaton Anthony, and I felt like the whole betting thing was a good time because there already is someone in one of our major sports organizations here in Philadelphia who was implied in a betting scandal in college and actually might be the right-handed bat that the Phillies need. Now, I don't know if he'll get called up this year. He's only played in a couple of games coming back from a broken foot, but I feel like there's levels to mistakes that people make, and I don't know if gambling is necessarily one that we should write somebody off about.
Games that you're involved in?
So this is
two stops.
So hold on one second.
Both places.
Keaton Anthony was pinched for betting on professional sports as a college student before it was legalized. And if you guys remember,
and he wasn't involved in those games.
A couple of months ago, they changed the rule where college athletes can bet on all sports except for the game that they play in, which we all said, don't do that.
Terrible
That's
idea.
murky waters.
Stupid. It's
now,
stupid.
But here's what's interesting, Jack, to your point. Keaton Anthony bet on professional sports. We don't know which one. What if he did bet on professional baseball that he was one day going to be a part of?
But if you're not betting on a game you're involved in, I have much more grace. I have much more grace for a college kid that does that.
Right, I
betting
got you.
on the Phillies when he's had nothing to do with the Phillies or nothing to do with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
or nothing to
Sorsby
do.
bet on the teams he
was on
was
the teams.
with,
He had
Jack.
insider information. It's totally different.
Well, that's fair. Besides all of that, do you think Keaton Anthony is potential to be on the roster either this year or at some point?
So here's what's going to be interesting, Jack, and we thank you for the call,
Thank you,
man.
buddy.
They're trying to put him in the outfield.
Yes.
He is a first baseman.
I always love when we have these. Hey.
He is a first baseman.
Why do we have so many of these?
And he will not
We're
be
not the
playing,
only ones.
He
We're
will
just
not be
too
playing
close to
first
it.
base anytime soon because there's this guy named Bryce Harper there. His other position is DH. He's not going to be playing DH anytime soon.
Does he play hard at all times?
Yeah, Bryce Harper
I'd
lollygags
like to
all
see
the time.
that. Yeah, well, it happens quite often. We talk about it.
They're going to try him out in the outfield. It would be best for the Phillies to not just bring him up for his bat and put him in a position where he's not going to be good at, because didn't they already do that this year?
Yeah, they tried that.
And who was that guy?
His name was Otto Kemp.
And where is he at now?
Currently not with the Phillies.
Yeah.
Go back, Scott Kingery.
Yeah, Scott Kingery.
Guy
Well,
literally,
they fell in love with the Ben Zobrist crap.
But like
One guy could play 6 positions well, so they're like, let's try to
I
make
think
somebody else do it.
Poor Scott Kingery, man.
I still stand by the belief. I never bought into the Chase Utley hype. There was a lot of people that were saying he was the next Chase Utley.
I don't know if
I
I'm
was
buying into
buying.
that. I imagine he could play baseball.
How about this? I was buying into some of the hype as far as reading it.
Yeah,
getting enthused about.
Top reporters are saying I didn't buy into it, but I believe that if he just came up and played second base, let him get comfortable with the big league level first before you play him in center field where he has no arm, or third base where he has no arm, or shortstop where he doesn't have the range to his right and then the throw to first base.
Was it Ben Zobrist they were trying to make him into?
That was
It was the idea that you have this guy, there's a phenomenal athlete, and he can play all over. There's like 6 of those guys. You know what
But
I mean?
that was the time. Zobrist was really
there
making a
somebody
name
else
for
too,
himself.
and you were like,
the
oh,
jack of all trades. He's
he
the
could
Swiss
really,
Army knife.
could really play, multiple positions.
And that's tough. Let him be a second baseman and let him play
big difference.
140 games. Let him be Benson at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, like what they're doing with Justin Crawford now.
Well, now let him play more, though, still. Let him play every night.
Yeah.
That would be the great thing to do with these young players. Not just say it, let them play it.
Yeah, so the Keaton Anthony, bottom line is that
And he's still a little away.
Different situation.
He's in single A right
Correct.
now.
He's a little away.
Different situation.
He
Keaton
came up-
Anthony was betting
And I
on
have no problem
professional
with that.
sports.
I
as a
I mean, I
college
do have a problem with it.
It's a problem because it was
But-
illegal and he knew it was illegal.
Correct.
And when you're a college athlete, you have to sign things that say you will not do this. There's things you sign. All kinds of rules.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of rules.
I think it's so stupid, though, letting college athletes bet on.
I don't know why they changed that.
Because you lose money. You lose money.
I'm a
then
college
you
football
could be
player and I
shut
can
down.
bet on college football. Like that's wild.
It's
wild.
By the way, he is a AAA right now. Yeah, he's a level way. Started
he's
today.
He's 24. Yeah, he's like
Keaton Anthony?
Yes.
yeah.
Well, that's off on mine,
I
too.
don't think he's 24. I think he's older than that.
Is he 20? There's one
Oh,
guy
he's
that's 24.
25.
One guy's 25.
25.
He's 24. Gabriel Rincones is 25.
Oh, you're right.
And these are the
he's
next.
moved up.
He
He started at Clearwater and he's played the last 5.
And what does it say?
5 games.
And
5 games at AAA.
Ask AI what it tells you if you haven't.
He's
made-
25.
if a prospect hasn't made the major leagues by 25.
I'll do that for you during the break.
Ask them what they tell you about the prospects' chances of. It's very rare.
All right, coming up next, we got some more Eagles discussion. Because today's the day of mandatory minicamp, Amy. I know you're fired up.
Let's go.
Real football.
You got Birds Huddle today?
Real football
I do
starts
have Birds
today.
Huddle.
There you
well,
go.
that's a must-watch.
I like it during minicamp.
Nick
Yeah,
Sirianni
actual
speaks
stuff.
at 12:30. People will show up. We'll go around the room. What is the number one thing you want to eventually see or hear from day one of mandatory minicamp now that all the drama is over? It's Kincade and Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
If you want hot water on demand whenever you need it, you may think about a new Infinity tankless or Aerotherm hybrid heat pump model from my friends at Bradford White Water Heaters. Bradford White, built to be the best, the finest components from around the world, a local company that knows exactly what we demand. We're very demanding people, right? BradfordWhite.com is where you learn more. You're going to find the plumbing professional near you that can bring the perfect model to your home. Look, you don't go into the big box store and say, yeah, I'm going to get one of those Bradford Whites off the shelf, bring it home, install it myself. No. Go to BradfordWhite.com, put in your zip code. They'll find the plumbing professional near you. Talk to said professional. They're going to say, hey, Kate, what are you looking for? What do you need? Is it for your home or for your business? How many people in your home? Do you need one of the Mac Daddy models? Do you need something smaller? Or do you want to go tankless? They've got so many different options for you. All I need to know is I've got hot water on demand whenever I need it. I got to be able to run the dishwasher, be able to run the laundry, to be able to have all the showers I need. It's double shower season right now. And with Bradford White, you never have to worry about where that hot water is coming from because it's always there on demand. Because how you heat your water, it does matter. Choose my friends at Bradford White. Go to BradfordWhite.com. Tell them John Kincade sent you.
Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It is 8:48 here on Kincade Salciunas, 97.5 The Fanatic. Day one of mandatory minicamp for the Philadelphia Eagles. So you better be there or you're out. Well, not really, depending on how good you are. Mandatory minicamp begins today. Everybody will be there for the most part, we think. And there's no A.J. Brown talk, which is great. It's over. Nick Sirianni speaks today at 12:30. Is there anything, John Kincade, to start with you, that come the end of the day today, I don't know if Nick Sirianni speaks before or after practice.
Speaks at 12:30, I believe it is.
So I don't know if that's
that'll
before
be
or
before.
after.
I think it's, well, no, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, by the end of the day, when you're sipping on a cocktail, sitting on your
I'm going to, yeah, we're going to.
Yes,
Hey,
it's before.
No, we're
Sirianni,
going to Seafood Kitchen tonight.
1 o'clock practice begins.
Okay, so it's before.
So-
we're going to Seafood Kitchen tonight, so I will be sipping on a cocktail
Enjoy.
tonight.
So after all that, what is something that you hope to see or hear?
I want to know, Nick, we taught when the last offense came in, we heard that when Kellen Moore came in, we heard that it was going to be a melding, a blending of your offense with Kellen Moore's offense. Is this going to be a melding of the offense of what you want to do and what Sean Mannion wants to do? And if it is, what does that mean?
Well, you know the answer is yes. Sean Mannion himself said it a couple of weeks ago.
But what does it mean?
We're going to have the good things that have
No,
worked, and we're going to bring in Sean's concepts,
What does it mean?
That's what it means.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
but
it means.
that's not an answer. What does it mean?
We've had a lot of success here in Philadelphia with what we've done, and we're going to try to build off that. Yeah.
We're going to put it all in a blender.
Yeah. I think you're going to be disappointed.
Make an offensive
Well,
smoothie.
I know I'm going to be disappointed with the Nick Sirianni press conference.
When was the last time you were at a press conference you weren't disappointed?
I'm going into. No, there's some press conferences
Besides
that
Don
I think are more. I think there's some that are better executed. Well, Don Mattingly's compared to Sleepy
That's
Robs.
because he's a Hall of Famer.
I got much better. So
You guys know they all call him Donnie?
the old
Donnie Baseball.
I know, but you call your manager Donnie. That's funny to me.
Remember, everybody around baseball calls him Donnie Baseball, so it's sort of like
Everybody's
that
got
whole,
pictures
I know
of
what his
him,
nickname was when he played, but in the
Everybody's
Marlins,
got
they
a
didn't
signed
call him
autograph,
Donnie.
by the way.
Yeah.
Donnie Baseball must have signed the most autographs.
Oh, yeah,
the amount of people that, I have a signed picture of him. How many of those did he sign?
Well,
There's
there's
a lot of people. It's like the people that played against Mike Trout and Joe Flacco.
And just think, there's some people who, like in the Phillies, won't even sign an autograph. So it's amazing.
Amy, what is something by the end of the day when you're prepping for Bird's Huddle that you hope to have a segment on?
We will have a segment on, hey, how confident are you that you have enough around Jalen Hurts to run this offense the way that it's supposed to be? It's an A.J. Brown question without asking the A.J. Brown question. Because the question's still going to be there no matter what. There's a lot of expectations, and we talked about it last week. I know we talked about it with Barrett on here, and we've talked about it before. It's not a one-to-one replacement with Mekhi Lemon and A.J. Brown. I feel like that's what people need to wrap their heads around. You want it to be. He looks, hey, it's a bigger receiver. Can he go up and do the same things? No, that's a lot to put on a guy that's his first year in the league. But I want to know, what do you envision as far as how this offense with the wide receivers looking? Like Devontae Smith is a tremendous wide receiver. We know that. He's also had the benefit of having another one wide receiver out there.
Yeah.
You can let him run a little bit freer because you had to put a little bit more defensive, front on A.J. Brown. You had to bracket him sometimes. Sometimes you had to have a little bit of a double as far as having someone cover over the top. So Devontae maybe was able to roam a little bit freer. So it'll be interesting to me to see what their plan is with that wide receiving core because they have a lot of humans. I just need to know if they're going to be able to get the same production.
Connor, I'll get yours in a second because I know mine's going to be quick because I know it's not going to happen. I'm not really going to get anything from a football standpoint. Right?
No.
I could hear that Jalen threw 40 for 40, 7 touchdowns, and I'll be like, all right. I can also hear he threw 0 for 40, threw 5 picks, and I go, all right.
Yeah.
So you're not going to count incompletions?
No, that's somebody else's job around here.
Okay.
I would like, in some way, a reporter to ask a question based off of some of the things A.J. Brown said in his podcast with Maria Taylor. You guys know that I was really adamant that I hated their ignorance of being Super Bowl champs? Oh, it's banner night? I have no idea. Like, what did A.J. Brown say that was, like, true? That the Eagles allowed to be a problem? Because it became a problem. Like, the A.J. Brown became a problem for the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Everyone could spin it any way they want about how he was a good teammate. There were problems because of A.J. Brown. And we talk about the Eagles' culture all the time. I don't know exactly how they would word it, the reporter, but there are some things from what A.J. Brown said in that podcast that I would like to somehow it be addressed by Nick Sirianni. He won't say anything A.J. Brown straight up because they'll be like, A.J. Brown's not here anymore. We wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, so I think you have to ask it just like that. You have to leave his name out of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's not going to get the answer.
I don't know if anyone's
he's not
gonna
here
ask it.
anymore.
Well,
You think it's going to be he's not here anymore?
Well, because it's like, well, AJ said this. Well, he's not here anymore. Okay,
Right.
yeah, but the
We're not-
underlying. So you have to ask those questions without, you don't want to. It's like when you do an interview, you don't ever want to ask yes or no questions because you're always going to get a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
So you have to get a little. How do you do this? Why do you do this? You know what I mean? That's a little journalism, as John could tell you. So I think
Yes.
you have to ask those questions, just like you said it. Pick whatever statement you want to, have him answer, whether it's about the offense, whether it's about the discourse of like how like the whole relationship works. But you can't say his name because otherwise he'll be like, well, he doesn't.
Look,
work
I want to
here.
know who's going to be the new leader, right? A.J. Brown spoke to the media and all this kind of like, who's that next guy? Connor, what do you want to, at the end of the day, say, all right, I got this?
Yeah, besides asking if Jalen Hurts is his number one question mark, because we know that gets a lot of reaction.
There you go.
I'd like to know if your offensive line could walk and maybe even jog right now.
Yeah, how healthy are they?
I would like to know an update on the health of a lot of those guys because I think healthy, they're still talent-wise one of the best units in the NFL, but clearly that's been a major issue. And they did a lot of stuff this offseason. So as you get into actual full-team activities, I think it'd be fair to be like, is Landon Dickerson good? Is Cam Jurgens good? What do we have going on?
I can tell you, I think I already know the answer, what you're going to get. I'll predict it to you that you're going to get the answer is that both gentlemen are progressing well, and we're expecting big things of them this year.
They came into camp feeling better than they did at the end of last
Yes,
year.
I think that's what you're going to get. Some version of that is what you're going to get, Connor.
Hey, it's better than they're not really ready right now, but we'll see.
I think you're going to get some version of that.
Okay, I take that.
And I think they could be lying.
Do you think he'll be asked about the prove it type of year for Jalen Hurts?
He probably should be.
He's going to say, I don't get into contracts.
Yes, he will.
I don't get into contracts.
And
That's
that'll be
not
a
my
very
department.
Or the answer is it's always a prove it year when you're trying to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that could be. And by the way, I don't think that's a terrible answer.
It's not. That's
You
what
know
I would
that.
give.
That's
what
think,
I would have said.
I think I
Someone
would
asked me
approve.
that.
I would approve of Nick giving that answer.
Did you bring in Andy Dalton to push Jalen Hurts? Quarterback competition. All right, coming up next.
Red Rock.
We get more insight on the new president of basketball operations for the Sixers. That's not how you say it, Amy.
That's not right.
A man who covered Mike Gansey for a long time in Cleveland. Is Gansey the right man for the job in Philly? He loves his Cleveland ties. I mean, he's from there. Loves them. Is he ready for Philly?
Him and Drew Carey.
We'll get some insight on that next here on the Fanatic. All right, let's talk about that FanDuel Sportsbook app, where if you aren't playing for a program in college, you're allowed to use it. Or if you play for the, any of the leagues. Us normal people, Johnny, we can use the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And the biggest stage in the world of soccer is just days away. Philadelphia will be part of the, the centerpiece of the entire planet Earth. I can't wait for it. Everything changes. Right now, FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, is giving you a reason to root for every single goal. Introducing Every Goal Pays. Bet on a match and get bonus bets for every goal scored in that match. So I know a lot of people think France is going to win, right? Bet on France, and if they win in their match, you'll get the payout for whatever you bet. But let's say they score 5 goals against a lesser-known country or a lesser-talented country in the sport of footy. Well, then all of a sudden you get bonus bets for every goal that's scored. That's right. More goals means more bonus bets, and all you have to do is turn on your token. I think I know the soccer thing pretty well. I dropped a footy. Next I have to say pitch.
You don't sound at least bit scripted.
Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started now. By the way, you can look at the script. Footy's not on here. Pitch is not on here. All right.
That's because they know that it sounds cliche.
I just know ball, John. Let there be goals on FanDuel. You got to be 21 plus in present Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Must apply bonus token. Bonus issue is non-roll bonus bets that expire 7 days at the receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What's next for the Sixers? I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations Mike Gansey yesterday, who will be tasked with trying to find a way to manage tough contract and roster situation here in Philadelphia. He talked about being creative and aggressive with his staff.
We're going to adapt. I know my philosophy is we're going to look at everything. We've got a great staff here that's going to get creative. We're going to be aggressive, and we're going to turn over every stone and try to get the best players in here and make some moves that are going to help us win.
He's certainly got his work cut out for him in that sense. He also has his work cut out for him with the NBA draft, which is just 2 weeks away. Sixers have the number 22 pick overall. That'll be his first course of action. The Phillies took game 1 for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night. Christopher Sanchez, another strong start, struck out 10 over 7 innings, allowing only 2 runs. Adolis Garcia went yard for the 3rd time in 5 games, showing signs of a power surge there. So good things for the Phils. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler on the mound facing Dylan Cease. The Eagles start mandatory minicamp today, their first full team workouts of the offseason. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media at 12:30. And the Spurs took down the Knicks 115-111 at the Garden last night to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Coming up next, Danny Cunningham, who covers the Cleveland Cavaliers, will join us to talk about Mike Gansey from a Cleveland perspective. This update is brought to you by our friends over, with the Philadelphia soccer scene. Join fans from around the world at the free 39-day FIFA Fan Festival at Lemon Hill. Enjoy live match broadcast entertainment and unforgettable energy all summer long. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Let's hear what they got into earlier today on Kincade Salciunas.
The Phillies win again. The best team that has ever played baseball. Beat the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday 5-2. Even though Connor Thomas and I both agree Christopher Sanchez stinks now. He allowed 2 earned runs yesterday.
Is Christopher Sanchez a problem?
He's clearly losing it. I think the Phillies should strongly consider adding a left-handed pitcher like Tarek Skubal at the deadline because Sanchez stinks.
No, thank you. Get me a bet.
The dude's unbelievable. Sanchez, another
good.
dominant performance yesterday. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 10 Ks. Waves off Don Mattingly. Says, no, Don, give me one more.
The 6th inning was artistic in that inning. That was awesome. Awesome.
The new Pobo of the Sixers, Mike Gansey, had his introductory press conference yesterday. After 15 years as a part of the Cleveland Cavaliers, eventually the GM of the Cavs. I mean, he was with LeBron. He saw winning, so that intrigues people. Well, let's face it, LeBron's the GM of any team he's with.
He was with
all due
LeBron.
respect, I know Mike Gansey just joined here. With all due respect to you, Mike Gansey, LeBron James was the GM of whatever team he played for. We all know that Gansey's going to be in a weird spot because he can't talk about trying to trade somebody or badmouth somebody that's currently on the team because you don't know if you can even move them. They're two of the worst contracts in the NBA.
They're horrible.
And Paul George and Joel Embiid.
Joel's is the worst.
Yes, because it's longer and
it's the max.
The body's breaking down and all that kind of stuff. So you knew he was going to be put in a tough spot.
I was waiting. I said, okay, this guy's cool. He's new age looking. He looks like he's going to be different. He looks like he's going to be bold. He looks like the kind of guy you're going to hire that maybe is going to be aggressive, a little out of the box. He looks a little different. I didn't get that at all yesterday. I swear, you did AI yesterday to an answer to a question, and I swear I was hearing AI answers.
Now back to the show.
All right, so what we talked about earlier this morning, coming up in a few minutes, Danny Cunningham, who's been covering the Cavs for quite some time now, he's been able to follow Mike Gansey throughout his journey as a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers, of course, the GM most recently, and now the president of basketball operations for the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll be able to get some insight on who Mike Gansey is, the players, type of players that he targets. Remember at the end of Bob Myers' introductory press conference, he talked about how depth is more important than ever. Does Mike Gansey believe that? Daryl Morey didn't. Daryl Morey thought really good players, top-heavy.
Veteran players.
And we'll ship off every young guy ever that's going to help other teams in the NBA get to conference finals and NBA championships and potentially win an NBA championship. So we'll talk to Danny in a minute. But, Amy, later on this show, in this hour, as this is the final hour of the show today, there were power rankings for Major League Baseball yesterday on Fox Sports. And I got caught by the headline because the headline read, the best offseason move made by each team in Major League Baseball, all 30 teams. And I kept on scrolling, looking for the Phillies. And their answer was Kyle Schwarber. I was like, all right, okay. They re-signed Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber didn't.
Some people forget that.
Yeah, some people forget
Dave
that.
Dombrowski,
Kyle Schwarber, wow, shocker. He didn't sign with the Reds or the Pirates.
Right. Dave wants you to believe that he was actually going to do that.
Yeah, that was never going to happen. The reason why I was scrolling, I did not realize that I was also on their power rankings.
Oh.
Keep this in mind. They had the Phillies 5th in all of Major League Baseball.
Pitching, man.
5th.
Pitching.
And so one of our questions today at the Davis Honda text line is, do you consider them, because we all agreed, if you're considered 5th, you're considered one of the best teams in baseball. Are the Philadelphia Phillies one of the best teams in baseball? I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet either. They've shown that they can be that team.
Yeah, they've shown it the last 4 years, and then they've showed what also they can be.
Yeah. I mean, that power ranking, and I didn't read the blurb that probably came with it, but I imagine it started and ended with Christopher Sanchez, and maybe threw in a Zach Wheeler in there too, and then Kyle Schwarber. So and Brandon Marsh. I feel like we don't need. I feel like he's not getting. He is in Philadelphia. I feel like he's not getting enough love. The man is batting. His batting average is the best in all of baseball.
We read an article yesterday on MLB.com.
It's unreal.
All right, MLB.com. They
People
wrote
need to
an
start
article
taking notice
on the top or on 10 players that could be an all-star starter for the first time this year, and he was not mentioned.
If he's not an all-star, the whole system is completely broken.
Right. No, it's also a star. Yeah.
But I mean, an all-star. Like, what are we doing? I get it, but I don't get it. And also, this is not like a fluky thing. He had the 0 for April last year, and since May of last year, so over 13 months now, he's batting like 320.
He's
like
unreal.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But yet no one talks about him because his name is Brandon Marsh, and he,
Well, because he was disappointed the first couple of years, considering he was a top prospect. But
he's
now
25.
he's showing who he was probably
like 28
advertised
It was
as.
like 25. He came up, and he was a top prospect. He's certainly a guy that I would imagine is mentioned in those power rankings. But Christopher Sanchez, if you're looking at the Phillies and why anybody on the outside is excited, and I mean that in why teams or why articles are going to be written about them being that high, it's because he's doing something that it's unheard of. The stuff that he's putting out there, and we joke like, oh, he gave up 2 runs, ha, ha, ha. That's just, it's so unusual. We're so used to it. And they have the back end of the bullpen, a guy that's perfect right now as far as saves. So there's some really bright spots. Here in Philadelphia, we have the PTSD of the last several postseasons of like, yep, and we know exactly what's going to happen. And
I have the PTSD of 9 and 19.
Well, yes, now that's true. Which
that was this season.
Firing their manager.
We'll continue this conversation as the show goes on, but joining us now via Zoom on this Tuesday, Amy Fadul in studio with us here on Kincade and Salciunas. Locked on Cavs, so he's a part of the Locked On family, like
your
Connor
team
Thomas
every day,
is.
baby.
And he covers the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Inside Shot on the old Substack. Danny Cunningham joins us. Danny, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on,
Danny.
Danny. We're really intrigued to have you on today because, Mike Gansey is an unknown for us here in Philadelphia. He was introduced yesterday. He was on with our midday show yesterday. And, of course, there's a lot of GM speak, as you can imagine. So that's why we turned to you, who covered a lot of Mike Gansey during his time in Cleveland. Tell us a little bit about him, his beliefs, his ideas on how winning is, because we just left the Daryl Morey experiment where it was sign top players, give them big contracts, old players, no bench. What is Mike Gansey like?
I think Mike Gansey's approach is going to be a little bit different than Daryl Morey's was. And I know that Daryl is obviously really big into analytics and all that stuff, and I'm not saying Mike doesn't believe in that type of stuff, but I do think of Mike as a basketball guy. And I think Mike realizes that some things that maybe Daryl didn't think mattered as much do matter. Like, I listened to what Mike had to say in his introductory press conference yesterday in Philadelphia, and it was, there were a few lines that stuck out to me. It's like, you want guys that want to be there, and like, you want guys that matter. You want guys that want to be good teammates and stuff like that. And I don't necessarily think that Daryl abided to that. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Daryl was like, kind of, hey, you're really good at basketball, you can help us. And Mike is obviously going to look for top-end talent, and the Sixers have a lot of really good top-end talent. And I think Joel Embiid, his health is a big question mark there. But I do think that winning on the margins is something that's going to matter a little bit more for the Sixers now, because one of the things that Mike was really involved in Cleveland was player acquisition. And if you look at the way the Cavs have built the roster, they have Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland at one point, James Harden, who you guys know really well. Like, they have really good top end talent. But think about the rest of the roster and how they acquired some of those guys, like Sam Merrill, who once upon the time was the last pick in the draft, and the Cavs signed to a 10-day contract. Mike Gansey had a lot to do with that. Guys like Tyrese Proctor, who they picked in with the 48th overall pick. Mike Gansey had a lot to do with that. Even Jalen Tyson, who the Cavs picked 20th overall and had, I think it was 39 points in Philly against the Sixers earlier this season. Mike Gansey had a lot to do with the way that the Cavs acquired guys in the draft. So I would look at this and say, yeah, the Sixers are probably set, at least for right now, with the top-end talent with Paul George and Embiid. Obviously, Maxey and Edgecombe should be there for a long, long time, those being younger guys. I can't necessarily say the same things about Paul George and Joel Embiid, but I think that the rest of the roster is probably going to matter to that front office a little bit more. And I'm not positive how much collaboration that Daryl Morey had with the rest of that front office, but I would expect that Gansey's going to have a lot of that, because that's kind of the way that things worked in Cleveland. So I would expect that he's going to probably lean on Jameer Nelson a little bit more than Daryl Morey did. He's probably going to lean on other guys in that front office and on that coaching staff and ownership a little bit more than Daryl Morey did, the last guy to hold this job.
Do you believe that coming in here, he's got a guy like Bob Myers that he's working under, that he's the kind of guy that is going to be willing to be a little more subservient? Is he more his own man? Is he very bold? Because yesterday I didn't hear a bold guy, but I'm hoping he's a bold guy.
I think that there's a little bit more boldness to Mike than he gave off in that introductory presser yesterday. I think that when you're in that spot and you don't want to give away your strategy, and I think there was maybe a little bit too much focus on not wanting to give things away, which, I mean, you guys have heard 1,000 of these press conferences from decision makers. Like, so much of it is, I guess, not coach speak because they're not coaches, but GM speak, for lack of a better term. I think there's more boldness to Mike than he gave off in that presser yesterday, and I think that that's an okay thing to have a presser like that. I think that he's going to be willing to take swings because, listen, he's been part of a Cleveland front office that has taken some swings. And the James Harden one was a very recent example, obviously, but trading for Donovan Mitchell was a really big swing. Finding a way to get LeBron back because he was part of that front office. Like, those are big swings that he's been part of in his career. Just because he hasn't always been the lead decision maker doesn't mean that he hasn't had a lot to do with those things. So I do think that there's more boldness to Mike Gansey than what he probably gave off to everybody in that press conference yesterday.
It was interesting to me because he's a Cleveland guy. Like, he through and through. Like, he's from there, born and raised there, goes back there, is in their front office for 15 years. And I asked him, why now? Like, why make this move? And it seemed to me, and maybe you know his background a little bit more as far as what would possess a guy that's literally working in his hometown for his hometown franchise to leave and go try to fix another franchise. And he says all the right things. The Sixers are an iconic franchise, and the chance to work with Bob Myers, who has championship pedigree and obviously a head coach, which is unusual, having a president of basketball operations, GM, before you know, and he doesn't bring in his own coach. But why do you think he made the move?
I think this was an opportunity too good for him to pass up. So a couple of years ago, I believe it was prior to last season, the year the Cavs won 64 games, I wrote like this mini profile on Mike for Cleveland Magazine. And one of the things I asked him, I think it kind of got cut before the profile made print. But one of the things I asked him was like, you know, you are in this position where you are the number 2 in a successful organization. You've got a championship ring from 2016. But you're from here, and there might not necessarily be any more upward movement for you because Kobe Altman is very, very safe in his job here. Do you ever want to run a team? And he gave the answers, you know, I do. Like, that's everybody's dream, but it needed to be the right fit. It needed to be the right situation. Like, if the Sacramento Kings came calling, and I don't want to throw the Kings under the bus, but if the Sacramento Kings came calling and said, hey, Mike, president of basketball operations is open, we're interested in you. I don't know that he wants it. I don't know that he goes as far as interviewing for it because I do think he truly believed it needed to be a situation that was worth leaving the play, not the only place he's ever known, but the place where he spent most of his life and the only place that he's really ever known professionally. So I do think that the Sixers job, given the talent on the roster, given how iconic the franchise is overall, and I know that doesn't necessarily all matter right now, but I think when you combine those things, this was an opportunity for him that he probably looked at and said, I can't pass this up because there are other jobs that are going to come open. How many of them are equal to or as good as this situation right now? And I think that when you're in a situation where he was in Cleveland, where you're truly happy with what you're doing and the organization you work for, and you have a great family life because you're in your hometown, all of those things need to matter. Like, you need to be in a spot where everything feels right. And it's clear he wouldn't have taken this unless that was the case.
Yeah.
Danny, one more thing. Danny Cunningham covers the Cleveland Cavaliers, joining us here on Kincade Salciunas. You know, style of play is a big talking point here in Philadelphia because at one point it was going to be the Ben Simmons show moving forward. Then they were like, wow, look at this Joel Embiid guy. Like, we have to make it work with him. So they pivoted their identity, what they wanted to do. Then we see Tyrese Maxey come to fold, and it's, wow, should we build around Maxey? Now you have Maxey and Edgecombe, and it's 2 small guards, but it's athleticism. It's a pace of play that we have not been used to because we've been doing the half-court offense. Even though statistically it was successful for Joel Embiid, it did not lead to success in the playoffs. So what do you believe are some of his ideologies when it comes to a style of basketball? And do you believe it fits with the current roster that the Sixers have, those big 4 that you know?
I think so much of that depends on whether or not Joel can stay healthy. It's hard to answer exactly whether or not it fits because the best player, the most talented player for as good as Tyrese Maxey is, I think Joel Embiid, when he's fully healthy, is a better basketball player, and he's got an MVP trophy on his mantle to prove that. But it's hard to say whether or not that fits because we don't know if Joel is ever going to be that guy again. I don't think it's coincidental that in Cleveland there were 2 small guards at times. I don't necessarily believe that to be the case anymore with James Harden. I don't think he's a small guard. But obviously Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, they made that work. It didn't work in the postseason because Darius hurt his toe pretty bad, and I kind of wonder to this day what Cleveland would look like had he not hurt his toe. But I do think that it can work to some extent. But I also will say I don't think that Gansey is going to be married to the idea of having a small backcourt. That said, I think that the sky is the limit for a guy like VJ Edgecombe. I think Tyrese Maxey is an awesome basketball player. I think any executive would be kind of silly not to figure out a way to try and make that work. So I look at it, and the biggest question I have is how healthy is Joel Embiid going to be? How healthy is Paul George going to be? Obviously, he looked like a new man after that suspension where he got a 25-game break in the middle of the season and was awesome when he came back from that. But what's that going to look like over 82 games? We don't have the answers to that. I would go into this and think you're probably going to have a year where things stay the same, and you're going to see what it looks like. And then next summer, if things don't work out, next summer could be the big, bold summer in Philly.
Dan, quickly, it just appears that he didn't get to hire his coach. Do you think that philosophy-wise, the whole organization looks in line?
I think everybody needs to be adaptable. And I think that that's probably a similar thing to the rosters. You'll give it a year and you'll see what it looks like, because this is not the first time a president has inherited a coach. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to sit here and say this is not going to work, but if things don't go as well, like say the Sixers lose in the first round next year, is Nick Nurse back for a year after that? My guess would be probably not, but we'll have to wait and see.
Danny, we appreciate the time, man. Keep up the great work, and we appreciate all this insight.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you for having me.
There he is, Danny Cunningham via Zoom today here on Kincade Salciunas. So I think what you just heard is what you don't want to hear. He's probably going to give it a shot for a year, and it's not my guess. If I got truth serum to Mike Gansey, my guess it's not, I can make this work. I want this to work. I think this is the cards that I got. I understand you Sixers fans. You have been watching the Joel Embiid experience for a decade now. I have not watched a single Joel Embiid game where I was rooting for him. I've been rooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers since I was a little boy and since I started working with the organization. If he can't move him, he's not going to move him. I don't think he's going to do the whole first-round pick thing just to get him off the books. I think Mike Gansey wants to use that first-round pick to try to draft somebody.
I think one of the things that I took away in the conversation that he had at the press conference and that, I got to have with him afterwards and everybody got him, we got to sit him down for a little bit longer, was that the reason you take this job for a guy that's a Cleveland native, was working for his hometown team, and I thought Danny pointed out really well, their front office is very set. That was probably it for him. But he could have certainly waited it out. He had a great, he's got a great reputation. He had a great position there. Was that he looked to the challenge. Like, this is a challenge. You don't look at this team and this job and say, well, I'm just walking into a great situation. You look at it and think, gosh, there's a lot of things that they could do. There's a lot of potential, but you have, two glaring contracts that are massive contracts. The NBA is so different when it comes to that. So I would think that he looked at this as like, this is a big challenge for me. And I mean, you looked at, and I asked him the same question that you guys asked about the small guards. Sorry, VJ, smaller for basketball. Because, I mean, this guy's almost 6'5". So that's the thought process. It can't work. Two small guards. Okay. There's a guard up in New York that's pretty small that doesn't play defense and is single-handedly, like, taking over. They just lost their first game.
Yeah.
In what, 45 days or something
like a month.
It's unbelievable.
And a half. And it wasn't because he wasn't playing well. So to me, I think that he looks at it as a challenge. I think when he says like words like creative and unique and things like that, that lets me know that he knows that he's up against it. And he has to win on the margins. Like I said, the one thing that Daryl Morey did do at times was they won on the margins 1 year. And that's why it looked so good. They won with the Jared McCain draft. They won with the Quentin Grimes, because how good did that look? Everybody fell off. Everybody got injured, and Quentin Grimes came to fruition. You're like, wow, that was really great. That guy you paid him nothing. You have to continue to win on the margins, though. You have to continue to produce those players, and those players can't be one-offs. They can't be a guy that's a flash in the pan, right? So I think that this is a huge challenge, and I would imagine for a guy that was looking for something, like, why would I leave my comfort of my hometown for the team that I grew up rooting for? You must love a challenge, because that's all I looked at this. I'm like, all right, this is a huge challenge because you have mega contracts.
Yep, seems like it. All right, coming up next, we mentioned the Phillies. Amy.
Yes.
Amy. Top 5 team in Major League Baseball.
Power ranking.
You didn't believe that.
Before we further that discussion, I read something this morning, John, that if this happens, I feel like this has to be the moment that changes baseball. Lockout or not, this has to be the moment. Explain more coming up next. That's the tease, people, here on the Fanatic.
Dan White and Associates have been in business for around 4 decades. That means that they're doing something right. Now, when they deal in specializing in helping people with retirement and financial planning, well, that means they're doing a lot right. Because if people trust them with money issues, that means they've really built up trust. And how do they do that? Because they lead you through the process. They explain to you how you can create income in retirement that will help support the lifestyle that you're looking to live. Because everybody wants to find some certainty in their financial future. Because finances in retirement, For some, it's an overwhelming topic. I know for me, I want to know exactly all about it. They've got offices in Glen Mills, PA, Middletown, and Lewis, Delaware. But they hold these educational seminars throughout Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland when you can go, have a meal, listen, be a passive listener, and get to find out more about what Dan White & Associates can potentially do for you and your family. Everybody needs a little guidance at times, whether it's financial guardrails or just somebody to say, hey, you're on the right track. Tweak this, tweak that. Get that complimentary no-risk consultation. Go to danwhiteandassociates.com.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers introduced Gansey. I'm Connor Thomas, and the Sixers introduced new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, yesterday, who will be tasked with trying to find a way to manage a tough contract situation here in Philadelphia. We're all aware of that. And he's aware that the team is talented, but maybe not championship caliber right now.
You know, they got swept in the second round, so it's not a championship caliber team right now, but we're going to work on that. Obviously, getting the big four together on the floor, and we're going to do everything we can to get the best players in here to help us get to the mountaintop.
Well, they have an option to add another talented player in the NBA draft coming up, just 2 weeks away. So the first point of action for Gansey, the Sixers have number 22 overall in that draft. We'll see what they do. The Phillies took game one for the Blue Jays 5-2 last night. Christopher Sanchez, another strong start. He struck out 10 over 7 innings, only allowing 2 runs. Adolis Garcia, he accounted for 2 of the Phil's runs himself. He went yard for the third time in 5 games, showing some signs of a power surge there. Game 2 is tonight at 7:07 p.m. Zach Wheeler faces Dylan Cease. Eagles start mandatory minicamp today. Nick Sirianni will meet with the media at 12:30. The Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111 last night to make it 2-1 in the NBA Finals. This update is brought to you by Modelo. Don't miss the first Modelo match night of the summer. Join Sean Brace this Sunday from 4 to 6 at Tradesman's for a block party with $5 Modelo drafts, exclusive giveaways, and all the soccer action with 97.5 The Fanatic. Visit 97.5thefanatic.com for details. I'm Connor Thomas for the home of the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
If you want to see their wonderful faces, check out youtube.com/975 The Fanatic Philadelphia. More of Kincade and Salciunas coming your way now.
The final hour of Kincade and Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to bagster.com. You're going to miss that, Amy.
I am. I hear it.
You're going to miss that. Text it to me every once in a while.
In a bag.
Yeah,
every time I see one out in the wild.
Yeah, text it to me every once in a while.
Dumpster in a bag.
It's a dumpster.
There you
go. During the break, I saw the great Ray Dunn, who will be, producing the wonderful Midday show. Johnny Mark, Sean Brace. They did a great job with Mike Gansey yesterday. Check it out, 975thefanatic.com. Now we know why he was delayed, by the way.
Why?
Why was he
people
delayed?
Like Amy Fadul kept him after his press conference.
Sorry.
Poor John and Sean are stretching.
I had him after they did.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So I was waiting for 40 minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is
so
fine.
It's John and Sean's fault then. So
Wow.
then you can have a bone to pick with them.
So it went. He had he did quick one-on-ones with the other TV stations that were supposed to be 3 questions. I'm sure they were. And then he went down and did something else. And then they were like, he came in like he's going to do the Fanatic now. I was like, he needs to come in here now.
Wow.
That's fine.
I had to do the social media challenges where you put the quarter on the lemon. There's a lot of important stuff going on.
There are important things. So Ray and I were randomly talking about just relievers in baseball because relievers are like kickers, right? They can be really, really good and then just not,
yes.
Jake Elliott. Like, it happens. I saw an old name pop up on the timeline this morning. I'm like, he's still in baseball?
Who?
And I click on his name. And
Vince
my
Velasquez.
man's got a sub-1 whip this year.
Who?
Enyel De Los Santos.
No, he's not.
Santos.
Where?
He is a relief pitcher for the Houston Astros this year.
Are you kidding me?
He first came up with the Phillies in 2018. He started 2 games. He was a reliever. They were trying to figure out.
I'm saying, this organization can never figure out where people are.
His ERA is a 4.74. The next year it's a 7.36.
Are you kidding?
The next year it's a 6.75.
He was atrocious.
And yet Pittsburgh takes him. Cleveland takes him.
But he's
the
still
Yankees, the
he's
White
still
Sox, the
around.
Braves.
Vince Velasquez is still around.
And now, at the age of 30, he's with the Houston Astros, and he's made 26 appearances, and his whip is below 1.
I can't get over it.
And I'm like, how does that happen?
Well, they're letting him warm up in the bullpen before they call him
maybe
into the
that's
game.
what. No,
and
that was
putting him on the roster.
Hobie Milner.
Oh, was that Milner?
Yeah,
Then they're
Hobie
putting him
Milner
on
was
the
not allowed
roster
to
so he
warm
could
up.
pitch.
You just
I
go
can't
right in.
get. I can't get over that.
Relief pitchers are so fun. It's not like it's not like he's firing 100 now,
No, but I
right?
still can't get over it. I did not. I swear to you, I don't believe that.
Yeah, and he's not a lefty, so it's
Like,
sometimes you see lefties are still out there.
That's the first thing I thought of is
he's a righty.
Lefties can work forever.
Yeah, it's like
Baseball.
I have a friend of mine who thinks that his son's going to be a
Oh yeah, I was disappointed. I was disappointed when I saw Coop throw
He's
right
got a
hand.
lefty that he thinks he's at the age of like 10 or 11 that this kid's going to.
Coop picked up the ball with his right hand. I said, "No, son, put that down.
Other one.
And pick it up with the other one."
You realize the
Sonny's
money
a
you just
lefty.
lost.
All right, could this be the reason that baseball changes? Jeff Passan, second straight day we mentioned a Passan article. Passan for ESPN.com wrote an article about based off of what he thinks and what he's hearing because he is the lead insider.
He gets some good stuff.
He's the Adam Schefter of Major League Baseball.
Got some really good stuff. Good clue.
9 Tarek Skubal trade ideas.
Oh, jeez.
One team fits the not even close category. It is the Athletics. There is a not bad but category in terms of what they could offer. Yankees, Rays, Brewers. Then he has a category of, we're getting somewhere now. Cubs, Pirates. Then there's close but no cigar. Blue Jays, Padres. And then the one that gets it done. Who wants to take a guess which team that would be?
He does not say that.
There's no way he says.
The Los Angeles
He doesn't say the
Dodgers.
Dodgers. You can't. What's happening right now?
If the Dodgers trade for Tarek Skubal, for every single play, because we know the players don't want a salary cap, and I know Skubal's he's not making the big bucks yet.
It doesn't matter.
It's just, hey, we have so many great players, and our farm system
we can just do whatever we want.
We don't need these prospects because we can just pay for every top talent that's out there. Oh, yeah, sure, we'll take him on. Yeah, sure, we'll take him on. Who's the outfielder that they got?
Kyle Tucker.
Kyle Tucker. Oh, yeah, sure. We don't need Kyle Tucker, but we'll take Kyle Tucker because we just have to pay him money. If the Dodgers trade for Tarek Skubal,
what are you going to do?
What's the point?
What do you mean, what's the point?
I would think there would be a lot more people that would be in favor of a salary cap after
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like, that would have to be
and
the
some
moment
kind of
for
like,
players. Because if you're Bryce Harper, I know Bryce Harper probably cares more about his wallet more than the sanctity of baseball.
Yes. You can count on that.
All right? I don't think I'm saying some sort of hot
Count
take.
on that.
The guys that are getting paid a lot of money want their money.
He also cares more about his money than the guys at the bottom of the roster.
But
in
if
his
there
own
are
locker room.
guys that go, yeah, I care about my money too, but I still want to be competitive, there's no point. Like, that has to be the moment for the players that are anti-salary cap, anti-whatever sort of cap. Look, even if there's a salary cap, you could trade for Tarek Skubal because he's still on that rookie contract. It's not like he's breaking the bank. The point is, the Dodgers don't need their prospects because they have everybody in the world on their payroll. So they could just trade their top prospects. By the way, their top prospects are better than any prospect the Phillies have. Better prospects than most Major League Baseball teams have because they're a very, very well-run organization. They have the ability to trade these young guys because they don't need them and because they have a ton of them.
Okay.
And now you have Skubal. It's season over.
Okay, you did. I know you because you're a
Do not
baseball
mind.
fan. You did watch the World Series last year.
I did.
If Toronto executes 2 routine plays, they win the World Series. If the Philadelphia Phillies are just routinely sound in their baseball, they get to a Game 5 at home. The Dodgers were imminently beatable last fall. They didn't. They didn't get beaten because the two teams beat themselves. They can be beaten. But they're very, very likely to be in the mix every year, but they can still be beaten.
Yeah.
The Toronto Blue Jays, if a guy tags up properly at third base, they win the World Series. If they had a third base coach who wasn't a buffoon, they win the World Series. I mean, you lost.
So
the
what would
World
your
Series on
reaction
that.
be if the Dodgers traded for Tarek Skubal?
It would suck. It would suck. No, I mean, but bottom line, it sucks.
It would make me not want to watch the postseason.
Yeah, it's over.
It gets I understand your point of view completely, and I believe you would be speaking for the masses. It would
I
suck.
hope I would be speaking for players in the league. Not that I am going to be their voice.
You
but
already
my
are.
God.
Do you know what the Dodgers are right now on June, what is it, the 8th? June 9th, you said it earlier. To win the World Series, they're plus 185.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it's only plus money because something could happen.
Right.
It's not. The Vegas just doesn't want to lose too much money. I mean, that's what it pretty much is.
It's been the Los Angeles Invitational for 2 years now. And it is again this year.
Dude, could you imagine if they had...
No, I don't want
They
to.
have Shohei Ohtani. They have Yamamoto. They have this Justin Robleski kid. Another guy. Like, hey, here's another guy. Oh, he's 7-2 as an ERA of 2.6.
And you know what you can't do in the NFL? You can't have that team. You know what you can't do in the NBA? Can't have that team.
Yeah.
You know what you can't do in the NHL? Can't have that team. So all the people who say, no salary cap, it just benefits the owners. It's stupid. This is why you need a salary cap. This is why you need it. Competitive balance is one thing. But also, every league that has instituted a salary cap, player salaries go up. Team revenues go up. Team value of the teams go up. It benefits. It is a good thing for you. Now, by the way, though, as those revenues go up, unfortunately, our prices don't go down.
Yeah.
But our prices don't go down in baseball either without a salary cap. So, look, it's coming. I can't wait till the salary cap gets here. And they will lock this. They're locking this thing down until they're getting it. They're not going to sign another agreement without one.
Yeah, it has
They're
to
getting
change.
some form of a salary cap.
Yeah. Look, I'll say it
Something
has
will
to
happen,
change.
yes.
Even just the idea that they could trade for him should lead
Yeah.
to the change.
Because there's no stopping them, right? There's nothing
There's
at the
nothing,
end.
right.
So it's you could throw out any name. You could throw out whomever. Doesn't matter. Give me the biggest name you can think of. It would never surprise you. Be like, oh, the Yankees are shopping Aaron Judge. The first name people would be like, well, they're probably going to go to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's going to look. It's what people are going to think of. That's why the Phillies so good.
Yankees are not shopping.
Thank God they got rid of They got Christopher Sanchez locked down.
Yeah, no, seriously. Thank God that they did.
That's
Otherwise,
really
they'd be coming for him.
All right, what do we have as the Davis Honda text line? Feel the Davis difference. Check them out in Burlington.
We have people checking in on the conversation on the Phillies being a top 5 baseball team. And Casey from Percy checks in and says the right-handers are turning it on a little bit. Bohm, Garcia, Turner look better. The Phillies right now are one of the best teams in baseball for sure.
Yeah, right now they're one of the best teams in baseball. There's no question.
It was amazing.
Not even a question.
When we read that article this morning that they are considered, for one person, 5th. But there have been a lot of people that have been like, yeah, I see it. And I get it because they've won a lot of baseball games. And as Connor pointed out earlier, they have the 7th best record in baseball, which is insane to say. And if not for the National League being like the better league right now, you have the Dodgers, you have the Braves, you have the Brewers. So the Phillies are 5th, and they're behind 3 National League teams in these power rankings. It's amazing. Maybe we would look at the Phillies differently. I can't ignore the fact that it took them 2.5 weeks to score 5 runs in a baseball game. I can't all of a sudden be like, yeah, the pitching makes them 5th. They got to be able to hit more consistently, and they have recently. I got to see a little bit more before I start calling them a top 5 team in baseball.
Yes, you have to see more than a week because last Wednesday we did a show about how pathetic the Phillies offense is.
The idea of them, sure.
So 6 days later, we all of a sudden did not see, oh my gosh, the Phillies have fixed everything.
Yeah.
They're great now.
Yeah.
Wait till
Now
you
they're
see what
great.
they do this month.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Take my word for it. Wait till you see what they do offensively this month.
No, I've been saying that they're going to do that because the schedule is now going to also. The schedule also gets really easy.
I think we are equating the White Sox with who they were last year. They have the same record as the Phillies. That's a
They do.
good squad.
They have a
They're
good-
young.
they got some good young
They can
talent.
hit.
Good club.
But I think that this is the most important. This Blue Jays series, the Mets, the Nationals, Marlins. That's where you got to make your hay.
Yep. All right. Coming up next. Speaking of the Titans, we preview another game. Question in honor of Brendan Sorsby.
In honor of a guy that's been gambling.
Do the Phillies have an auto bet for us right now?
Well, that's what Sorsby really could lean
Let me
into
ask
this.
Sorsby.
If he gets to play, he could really lean into this. FanDuel, DraftKings.
Daily fantasy. He's got it
Right?
all.
He could have all kinds of stuff.
Watch this, guys. I'm chucking for 400 today.
Yeah. You like my over-under?
We
I'll
get
show
into
you.
this coming up next. Kincade Salciunas, Amy with us, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every single match from the opening stage all the way to the final, and everything gets going this week. The kickoff match, South Africa taking on Mexico. And South Africa, they're the underdog. They're trading at just 11% to beat Mexico, meaning a $100 trade pays out $855 if they win. Could you imagine starting the tournament off with that type of winning? That's a great opportunity. But the best part is, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in the live market, meaning there's no house. As the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. So, hey, if those numbers change, you can trade out of your position before the match is even played and make some money there. It's a great way to handle it at a great event going on. So for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FANATIC to get $10 when you trade 10. That's Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Philadelphia 76ers new president of basketball operations, Mike Gansey, on Middays with Marks.
We have two of the most dynamic guards in the league. Those guys are special. And I think moving forward, people are going to want to play for those guys. And then Joel, he can get you 25 a night, but can he be better defensively? Because I think it's in him. And then Paul's still an elite wing in this league. We just got to pour ourselves into those four right now and then try to add depth and add players around them that fit.
This is the official radio home for Sixers basketball. 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
There are two kinds of students that walk into our school every day. The one who knows they're not built for 4 years of lecture halls. And the other is a little bit older and a little bit wiser, looking to change careers and do what they love. At CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, home to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, we've been training students like this for over 60 years. And today, it matters more than ever because media is everywhere. Employers want people who can step in and produce from day one. That's why CSB Media Arts Center trains hands-on from day one. We have programs in broadcast media, filmmaking, social media marketing, and web design and development. Train in months, not years. Schedule your tour at gocsb.com. CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, home to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, where media careers begin. GoCSB.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
This is Len Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never injured in a slip and fall accident, we mean it. But if you suffer an injury, we will work quickly and tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And when we also say it won't cost you a dime up front, we mean it. Remember our name, Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
The Fanatic Pro Shop. Shirts, coffee mugs, and more. T-shirts starting at just $20. That's right, just $20.
Fanatic gear and unique Philly-themed items you can't get anywhere else. Get shopping now at 975thefanatic.com. Andrew John Connor, Kincade
against Dylan Cease. So Cease, a good pitcher for Toronto. I have a question. Have the Phillies, specifically Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler, created auto bets for you? What do we do every single year in football? Who's playing the Browns? All right, bet the other team. Who's playing the Jets? Bet the other team. Have Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez for you for the time being until, maybe something falls off. Maybe they get roughed up for an outing. Where you go, all right, I'm going to bet the Phillies to win every start they make. I'm going to bet probably strikeouts every start that they make.
Right.
I'm going to bet the amount of innings they pitch in every start. I'm going to bet the Phillies having the lead through through 5 innings they have usually on most sports books, and the under for opposition. I'm not saying parlay all 5.
Right.
But have those 5 bets with the way Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler have been pitching for an extended period of time?
They've come to fruition more often than not.
Has that become like an auto bet for you?
I mean, he's just so solid. I don't. I'm not going to encourage people to be like, all right, you got to lock it in no matter what. But I think for the aspect of the fan looking at it, you are looking at this one anytime Sanchez pitches and you're like, well, that's a win. As long as you get like a run, that's a win. There's no question in my mind when he goes up. So you're looking at games to go to, right? And you're like looking out the schedule like, oh, you can look at, that might be Sanchez. You're maybe more inclined to go to that game.
That's a bet within itself.
Right, you know what I mean? There's a gamble right there. Everyone wants to go see their team win. And if you're seeing Chris Sanchez pitch, there's a really good chance you're going to see a win. So I think that's like one of those things I'm like,
our old buddy
Sanchez.
Chuck D'Amico, used to be the program director here at the Fanatic. He's now the program director
of everywhere else.
Of everywhere else right now here.
Just not
here in the building.
Yes.
He made money last year.
He did.
Betting Eagles win, money line. Chiefs win, money line. Giants lose to whoever the team is. Jets lose. Yeah. He came out with a profit. I think it was just $10 on each team every single week. He came out with a profit. And if the Eagles were ever playing if the Eagles played the Chiefs when they did, he bet the Eagles because go Birds. Like, do you think you could come away with a profit? Yeah. You put $100 down in your bankroll now, and
you just bet that the rest of the season.
Those 5 bets every single start for Wheeler and Sanchez.
It would surprise me if it didn't. They're just so dominant right now. The only wrinkle is the offense going to give them enough? Because you do have to score a run to win a game.
Yeah.
Very important. You cannot win 0-0. We all know this.
That's good. That's why we have Amy here twice a week.
Look for me.
That really is.
That's why we bring you
on the
I
betting
know Birds
shows.
Huddle today.
That's why I bring you. And Sportsnet Central in the morning.
And then Sportsnet Central, too.
Love us up. Yeah, I'm not doing it
Is
because
that live, by the way? I'm suspicious.
I just stay there all morning.
I'm
6 to 11 a.m. all morning.
I'm
I just say the same thing over and over
you
again.
say the same thing over. Yeah, exactly.
I'm really well practiced.
She does better, though, on the one, like when you watch it.
It gets better.
Like sometimes she'll skip a word, she'll mess up a word.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
fix it.
By the way, Middays with Marks comes your way at 10 o'clock. I wonder if there will be audio played. John just played something for us during the commercial break that.
Don't throw away this topic because we're going to do it tomorrow.
It's just
Don't
amazing.
throw it away, please.
Oh, okay. Do you not even want to mention it?
I want to do it tomorrow.
Well, let's tease it. Give us a general idea, and then we'll talk about it on tomorrow's show.
I think it's about time that the fixer went back in the shadows. The fixer of any organization, of any good mob movie, of any good organization.
Oh, you don't have to give your take. I was just going to tell the people.
No, I'm saying the fixer. I think it's about time the fixer. There's your tease. Okay. You said a tease.
Yeah, there we go.
I think it's about time the fixer went back into the shadows. The fixer is not supposed to be a main character.
See, that's your big takeaway. My big takeaway is what people choose to believe is so funny to me.
The fixer's not supposed to be a mouthpiece.
Again, people, you want to believe things, and your algorithm sometimes lets you believe them because it knows.
Yeah.
Because it knows you believe them.
Exactly.
It knows that you believe them.
It's on your phone, too.
That reporter is not accurate.
You know what I say to
that
him?
guy is.
You know what I say to him is that I will go, I can't believe it. We will talk about something innocuous.
Oh, no.
And the ad pops up, and I'll say,
"Oh, yeah,
I can't
weird, man.
and that spooks me out."
It's amazing. But yes, I love all of these. Like, well, that's because people always want to look for a reason for something. You have to have a reason for why a player is no longer good, why a team has started losing, why a relationship has deteriorated. Whatever the reasons, whatever you see in sports, you always want a reason. So we will grasp at straws until we find one. And conspiracy theories are popular.
Mm-hmm.
I see you going back and forth with this guy named OG Wade on Twitter. Who's that guy?
What?
I don't know. Which one is this?
Oh, never mind.
What did I say?
No, nothing.
No, I don't even know. What did I say? I'm serious.
You said who thinks it's cool. I think it's outrageously
Oh,
dumb.
I know. I didn't know who I responded to. I did respond that way because I'm like, what is he talking about? I didn't realize who would respond. Was that OG Wade?
Yes.
Oh, I
some
didn't realize that.
people listen to the show might know who we're talking about.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
All right.
I didn't realize it was.
Amy, you're the best.
I was like, I don't know.
Thank you, Aim.
We appreciate the time
We'll
as
see
always.
you Friday.
See you guys Friday.
Connor and I will
not
see you
see
Friday.
me.
You will not see Andrew.
I'm out
that's
the rest
right.
of the week.
We'll see Andrew on Monday.
It's the summertime.
I'm out the rest of the week. I will be back on Monday.
Monday.
So thanks for hanging out with me for 2 days.
Yeah,
You
we'll
got
see.
John and Connor to the rest of the way, rest of the week.
Well, I'll see you too.
So I'll see you guys next Monday. Bye. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Middays with Marks comes over next. Johnny, Mark, Sean Brace, and, of course, Ray Dunn. And Johnny Kincade and Connor Thomas. We'll talk to you tomorrow.